This is Sean.
This is Kevin.
And this is the One Other Thing, episode 26, my friend. If my count is correct here.
I don't know. I've lost count.
Yeah, no, I just checked, and 26. My God, they add up.
26. And if 3 of them are interesting, we're doing okay.
Yeah, we're not doing bad. Not doing bad at all. So, if you're your first-time listener, welcome to the show. Glad to have you here. There it is. I looked at the camera. I hope we got enough of that, because
Yes.
we're not going to be doing that the rest of this episode.
No.
But if you are a long-time listener, love having you. So welcome back. Welcome to this week's show. And, once again, it's a Thursday. We tend to record on Thursdays.
Yep.
For those of you that are new to the show. And basically, buckle up. We're in for, who knows how long of Kevin and I talking about whatever it is we talk about.
Whatever.
Yeah. But
I think we're trying to gear this month, being October, that we're trying to gear toward like Halloween-style episodes.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Spooky.
It's the Halloweeny episodes.
Yes.
Because I can't say Halloweeny enough on the air.
No. Never can say that enough.
There's an age where I'm going to grow up.
Yeah.
I don't think it's coming, but I definitely haven't hit it yet. A few topics. We're going to talk about some horror games that we've played, and last episode we talked about a lot of movies, and I'm sure we'll probably delve into some more. Yeah. Actually, I'm going to write one down that I don't know how we didn't mention it, but we'll talk. But we'll talk about some games too. So I'm interested in that too, because you said you had some surprises for me in that regard.
Yeah, something games that people might not consider horror right off the top of their head, or you're young and you don't realize that some of these games were horror games. But yeah,
that's like interesting because I'd actually had a game in mind that fit that description perfectly, and I thought I was going to surprise you. So it's funny, yeah, we're making surprises. So but before we get into any of that, though, as usual, can't thank everybody enough for all the support you've given us, and just want to get into that a little bit. If you're looking to contact us in any way, because we do love everything, and we love it. We love the thumbs ups, we love the likes, the subscribes, the Patreon support. We love every little bit of interaction, and that includes, not by any means limited to, email.
Yes.
So we love hearing from you. And that being said, if I'm a fan, Kevin, how do I do it?
Head over, you can head over our website, which you can see now, which is at tootcast.net. And there are links for our email, but yeah, our email is basically toot@tootcast.net. And you'll see our email, you'll see our new enhanced video YouTube page, which you'll find this video in a few days once I'm getting the process down better. But yeah, that's a good way to get a hold of us. So, and additionally, we do have a Patreon page, so feel free if you want to, start getting involved in voting and becoming a member of Patreon, please do. But it's not required for us to continue by any stretch of the imagination. We're just eventually going to we're trying to work to the break-even point, which maybe a year from now, we'll see. We'll get there.
Probably not. We're digging the hole deeper, because we're buying a green screen soon, too, so you don't have to see all this.
Yeah.
The wife wants to kill me as it is, but you know how it is.
Yeah.
We got a show to do.
Yeah, so this opening behind us will go away probably in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, who knows what will replace it, but
I have no idea.
We're going to find out together.
I think it'd be hilarious to take a picture of this and just use that.
That's even better. That would definitely piss her off,
Yes.
but the comedic value is fantastic.
Yes, but I'll Photoshop the picture so there's like a lot more dirt and garbage
That's
and
even
stuff.
better. Yeah, just have a raccoon in the background.
A raccoon eating everything in the back. Oh, yeah. That's a challenge. I'm going to do that.
Got a Grey Gardens vibe going on. It's fantastic. That reminds me, actually, one of the things, and I'll just jump right into it because there's no particular order here, is you talked about taking a break in the coming...
Yeah, but that's
probably
probably
closer to the holidays.
Yeah. December.
So, exactly. So I was wondering what you had in mind with that, and, I suppose we can certainly talk about it as we get closer, but likewise, I wanted to bring that up on air, because I know there are a few podcasts and YouTubers that I watch. Yeah. And I know when they miss a week, I'm pissed.
Yeah.
It's just like, where the hell are you? Yeah. And, that being said, I'm bringing it up now. And we're going to bring it up often because I want to make sure that one, I'm aware so I don't show up, and two,
where is Kevin?
Yeah, what's going on?
Wait a minute, this is your own house.
Yeah, exactly. That's what makes the comment so great. Yeah. But I've been sitting at the dining room table, and it's just not the same without you, buddy. But I also want to give everybody fair warning because again, I know I myself get upset when my favorite streamers of any kind just aren't doing it. It's just, I feel like I'm missing something. Where are you?
Well, Idle Hands is the Devil's Workshop, so even if we do take a break on this show for a month, or even a couple weeks, I'm going to keep playing around, and I probably will start posting other videos just to have content.
I'm almost of the belief that us taking a break may result in more content, but you know,
Yeah.
I don't want to make any commitments. But either way, we're gonna get there and see because we're gonna have some time off of work.
I want to practice, streaming games or, unboxing. Some people are actually interested in seeing that or, reaction videos. So
Yeah, see that's what worries me
yeah,
because I'm not certain I'm qualified for those videos in the sense that you've seen my reactions to things.
yeah,
Like I don't read.
yeah,
Just I'm not a reactionary guy.
yeah.
I'm just like,
No, but you can witness me reaction because
Yes,
I'll probably be like, what the hell?
that'll be fun for me.
Yeah,
Yeah. But
yeah,
you've seen me like react. I
yeah.
mean, like you show up in the devil mask. I'm like, hey Kevin, what's
Yeah,
up?
how's it going?
Yeah.
You got a little, something on your face there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you look
yeah.
like Satan. A
Yeah,
little
yeah.
extra today, but
Yeah, you know those videos where they have like monsters pop out of the garbage can and stuff, and there's always one guy who just sucker punches in the face?
oh, I love
That'd
that guy.
be you.
Yeah, oh, entirely.
Oh, yeah.
I love that. I know the video you're speaking of specifically,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I applaud that. I applaud that guy.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what we're talking about, it's a high school video, and basically the guy's getting interviewed for his high school, and another dude jumps out of a garbage can in a werewolf costume, and the dude's not even thinking. He just punches the dude square in the face.
There is a fight or flight response, and some people have the fight. And,
Yeah.
I'm not sure I do. I haven't really had that experience, but I'm going to assume flight.
I have no question. I have the fight. I can't even help it, and I applaud that individual though. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
So,
werewolf, like I said, I'm not going to be happy about it, but little demon girl comes at me, I'm punching a little girl.
yeah, that's why I'm not jumping out at you ever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Because,
no.
it's just. And well, to that dude's defense, too, it's not like he thought about it. There was no ill intent there. That was pure instinct.
Yeah, that's why I buy a lifelike looking dog and place it around your house
Yeah.
because then I'm nowhere near when you discover it.
Yeah. And all it does is creep out my wife and my sister-in-law.
Yes.
I'm just like, oh.
Which is good. I'm okay
golly.
with that. That's hilarious.
Yeah. Oh, but I get hit for it, by the way.
Yeah, you get hit for it?
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's really effective. Yeah.
Yes.
It's.
My plan is coming
I'm telling
together.
you, your security in your life is too tight because
Yes.
believe me, the whole gimmick is, a play on Scrubs. He bought this damn thing and he
Rowdy.
leaves it. And I try to get it, but his security is tight. I have no means to get this damn thing in his house.
Yeah.
But I try.
Yeah, I'm gonna get more cameras too.
That's great. Yeah, I think you're just gonna have a lot of video of me dropping that damn dog off at your
damn
house.
dog just showing up.
Yep.
He got it quick enough, and I'm like, oh, was somebody at the door? Oh, whatever.
Yep. That's fantastic. Middle of the night.
Middle of the night.
So anyway, yeah, we'll keep you posted on the break. So I do want to bring up I don't know if this is a touchy subject these days or not, but I don't care anyway. Also want to bring up the fact that for the U.S., we've got an election coming up. And, we haven't really talked politics on this show, and I don't know if
No.
we're avoiding it or whatnot, but I'll just say it this way right now, and I don't know what you're comfortable with. I'm comfortable with whatever. But we certainly have a slant, I'll say it that way. And I'll say the reason I bring this up, though, more than anything, is you got to get out there and vote. If you live in the U.S., you got to get out there and vote. It's more important than ever.
Rock the vote.
Yeah, seriously. That's what I'm saying, though. So, rock the shit out of the vote.
I already voted.
Did you? Good
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Yeah. Be safe about it. It's crazy times, and I'm also telling people allow for more time than you spent 4 years ago.
Yeah.
It's just from what I've been reading, it's just going to take longer.
Oh yeah, waiting in line. Yeah. So the form was easy. I did the mail-in one.
Yeah.
Absentee ballot because they have a new spot in the New York State one where you can just say, "Hey, COVID, that's my reason for absentee," and they sent Charlize and I one, and we voted.
You're communist. I get it.
Basically, yeah.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with mail-in or absentee voting.
Yeah, so Charlize wanted me to vote for somebody in particular, not the presidential one, but some other one.
That's fantastic.
Attorney General or something.
She is. That's illegal.
And I said, that's what I said. I go, are you trying to make me pick somebody I don't want to pick?
Yeah.
And I told her I didn't pick him. I was like, I'm not going to pick him now.
Oh, you know
He's
what always
off.
gets me in trouble whenever I'm at the doctor's, and this comes up more than I can believe. And Mickles will be standing there because there needs to be an adult present when there's a doctor talking about whatever it is that's killing me.
Yeah.
And they'll be saying something, and at some point they'll ask me, they'll be like, "Sir, are you safe at home?"
Yes.
And I can't help it, man. I'm just, and I'm like, fuck, I gotta answer this seriously. And it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to do it because I look at her.
Yeah. Well, I did the same thing when my gallbladder was acting up, and they ended up taking it out. And then they asked me if I feel safe at home, and I'm like, she's standing right
Yeah, exactly.
there.
Yes, I can't even help it.
Yes. So the nurse laughed. Fortunately, she didn't call the cops, but the wrong situation that could turn bad.
Oh, they yell at me every time because I just get this shit-eating grin where I'm like, dude, you can't ask me that.
Right there.
Oh, that's fucking great.
Yes.
I think I told you this, but I may have even mentioned it on the show, but my brother-in-law did that at a grocery store once. The teller rings him up and says, oh, can I have your number? And he says, my wife is right there.
That's pretty good, too. Because that would happen. Remember Radio Shack always asked for your phone number?
He said the girl had no reaction whatsoever.
Yeah, no reaction yet. I've tried humor out in public, and it doesn't always work well.
Oh, that's hysterical. I would have rolled if I was in line.
Yeah. Oh, so don't worry. She grabs everybody's number.
Yeah. Hussy.
See. I would have asked, is just my number you want, or just everybody here?
Yeah. Yeah, so 7 tomorrow? Or
what
time's good?
What time are you going to Yeah.
That's awesome.
I live out in a van. You just want to meet me there?
Yeah, exactly. Right down by the river.
Down by the river. I live in a van. Down by the river.
Oh my God, it's fantastic. And this is
Chris
why
Farley.
This is why COVID's good for us because we're not allowed in public. So it's really nice.
Yeah, Shirley says a thing that she says to me. He goes, "Kevin, you're not fit for society."
Yeah.
She said all the time to me.
It's for the best. It's really for your protection and everyone else's.
Definitely.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, again, I can't emphasize the importance of it though. Vote. And yeah, and that being said, only vote once. They're pretty serious about that.
Yeah, they don't like when you vote.
So when I say vote, I mean just do it once.
Do it once. Yeah, they're supposed to be able to stop you, but
Unfortunately, at this day and age, I need to clarify that shit.
Yes. Yeah.
But all right, well, without further ado, let's jump into it. So do you want to talk, I know you want to talk about a horror show as well. Any preference on the order? Game, show?
No,
what do you want to talk about?
We can talk about show first because that should be quicker. So the Netflix series, the House on Haunted Hill, was that the one?
Yeah. I'm all 3 episodes in.
Yeah, so I watched that, but I barely remember it. But then apparently there's been it's not a direct sequel, but this season they came up with another the house on was it the Haunting of Bly Manor?
Okay.
Or Manor Bly's house, something like that. But it's also a Netflix show, also starring Elliot from E.T. That's because he's
Dude's Elliot. I've seen him and stuff. It's entirely Elliot.
And this one he has an English accent, and I think he pulls it off. So I think he did a great job. I'm actually go ahead, Elliot.
Okay. Is Elliot British? I have no idea where Elliot's from.
I think he's from Canada. I don't know.
I have no idea.
I have no idea either. I don't think he's British because he couldn't have faked an accent that young in E.T. But I could be wrong.
I got nothing.
Yeah, I'm gonna cry if I think about that movie anymore though.
E.T.
Yeah, E.T. It's a sad movie. I love it.
He made it home.
Yeah, but he died for a minute.
But he died for a minute.
Even the flower died. And Drew Barrymore just lost it, which is all the flower die. Anyway, so I'm not going to tell you much about the story, the plot of the second one. I do find it's going to be more memorable and stick with me more than the first one because I can tell because I don't really remember much from the first one.
It's more haunting?
It's more haunting. No, this one, halfway through it, I would say right half, because I think they're like 10 episodes. It's not like a terrible amount of episodes.
Oh, wait, before you go any further, spoiler alert to everybody, Kevin can't help himself.
I'm not going to spoil it, but I will say this. So about halfway through it, it turns into a Black Mirror episode.
Oh, nice. I love that.
So it's like, oh, that's bad. Oh, it gets worse. It's much worse.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that's going to stick with me because it was like so melancholy and heartbreaking by the end. You're like, this sucks.
I just love the surprises because spoilers. Like, I spoil everything.
Yeah.
I don't mean to, but I puzzle shit out.
Yeah.
And I can't even help it. And the one that's legendary, and I may have even mentioned this on the show, again, only 13 things to say, episode 26. We're going on round 2 here. But there was a Christmas where I picked up a gift and I shook it.
Yeah.
And I turned to Mick and I said, it's either candy or it's a kaleidoscope. This is a legend.
Yes.
And I was wrong. It was a candy kaleidoscope. I shit you not. And Mickle's just looking at me like, how in the fuck is that possible?
Yeah, how? Did you peek? You see the credit card?
So yeah, I ruin shit, and I don't mean to do it. So spoilers. Yes, you do have a tendency to be like, oh, he was dead the whole time.
He was dead the whole time.
But it's most of the time I was going to get there anyway because I can't even help it. That's why I love surprises though. When I'm either dead wrong or it's just wow, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, like this one I didn't see where it was coming. It didn't follow all the. It followed some tropes, but some it didn't. It just was unique. And that's one thing that my wife and I always said when we were watching. Like, this is unique. It's not.
I love that.
The standard story. You're like, what's going to happen? Some things you can guess. You're like, oh, I know he's going to die or she's going to die. Those things you can guess. But the whole overarching story, you're like, oh, that's good.
I give points for originality, even if the execution ends up falling flat. I still give points for originality because I do love me an original story. I don't think writers are paid enough.
Yeah, so I would say I would watch I think the first one might have been more toward the spiritual scariness sort of it, and where the second one, the Bly Manor one, is more, it's not scary at all, in my opinion. There's not one, I wouldn't call it, I don't even think there really was a jump scare for the most part. But
Nichols would go nowhere near it.
It would mess with you, though. This thing messes with you. It just, because it's a whole thing with life and death and, what happens beyond. And it's I don't know, it's interesting. It's very interesting. I mean, it's not a spoiler. Like, one of the first ghosts you've seen the entire show, probably the first episode, is a ghost with no face. And they explain why. And it just destroys you.
Okay.
So it's really different than other hauntings I've ever seen. So definitely, if you want something different and, than watching like Freddy Krueger or something, you want something a little more interesting, it's worth a watch. Definitely.
We talked about that before the show too, because I've got that ghost fetish, for lack of a better term, where I'm fascinated by all of it.
I have a fetish, but it's different. I believe in it.
Well, yeah. But, we talked about Casper. Why aren't there any friendly ghosts? Or, again, my personal preference, why aren't there any ghosts that do useful shit instead of just turning on the water and opening the cabinet? Like every time I leave the house, I come home, all my laundry is folded.
Yeah.
Why doesn't that happen?
Yeah. Happens in my house, though.
Yeah,
wait
exactly.
A minute. No,
that's awesome.
Sorry, Charlize.
It's funny because you're going to be a ghost. It was nice knowing you.
Yeah, it was nice knowing me, yeah. It's just magic.
Oh, that's real
Boy,
awesome.
I'm going to die.
Yep, your wife is going to kill you. So that's good, though.
Pillow over the head.
Oh, it makes me think, too. I guess we're doing the What Are You Watching, buddy? Because have you finished Ozark?
No. Because what happens, all that stuff got paused.
For October.
For Oktoberfest, what I call it. So I've been watching horror movies. I've been watching horror TV shows. So all that stuff is on pause for all of October. So we've been watching, we watched the second to last season of American Horror Story.
Okay.
Which, lame. And then we started watching the newest season of the American Horror Story, which is 80s slasher. So so I find it kind of interesting, but I'm just now getting into it. So it basically the whole the show starts and you see people with leg warmers doing exercises. It's all 80s. Looks like you're watching a VHS tape the whole time.
Oh, that's great. So you love that, if only for the nostalgia.
Just the nostalgia is kind of cool. So I'm kind of into the 80s feeling slasher flick for the newest. So it might be better than the previous seasons.
Okay.
It's hit or miss with that show. It's had a couple good seasons, and a couple medium seasons, and a couple just crap seasons.
Yeah.
So they've been all over the place. So I'm hoping this one is back to a little more fun. Because I would say the very first season, I think they hit out of the park. It was a murder house, and it was great.
Okay.
Because I think I said that before in the last episode. It's like, yeah, you don't want to kill this person in this house. And like, why not? And as he kills the person, and then all of a sudden they're a ghost. I'm like, yeah, now they're here forever.
Yep. You're stuck with them.
You're stuck with them.
Unless, of course, you move the body, because everyone knows.
Oh, the bone. And this one, you move the bones or the body, then they're haunt someplace else, which is cool.
Yeah, it's just so many questions.
So many questions.
What happens if you cremate it? Do you just haunt everywhere? How's that work? Do you have free reign?
I don't know. Maybe you just haunt Pizza Huts. I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea what it is. Yeah, exactly.
Because they burn the pizza there. That's what I was going with. Anyways.
Wow. That's great. But even then, if you haunt a Pizza Hut, why isn't it ever, every time I come to work, there's already a pizza made? It's fucking weird.
Yeah, I know. Oh, we're the pizza made. That'd be awesome. That was my Italian accent.
I just loved your Italian pizza making ghost accent. That was just awesome.
It's the pizza.
And Italy is no longer listening. But thank you.
No. Yes. Thanks for tuning in, Italy.
Thank you for tuning in.
Manja, manja, manja.
Hope to
Anyway, sorry.
see you again.
Sorry.
Manja, you're too skinny.
Yeah.
Gotta eat.
Yes.
God. I had a grandmother that would say that no matter what your weight was,
Yeah.
You could walk through the door, manja, you gotta eat. You're too skinny.
Oh, and last night I watched the very first Evil Dead.
Okay.
So
wow, boy, you do watch a lot of TV.
Yeah. Yeah, that was in a week. So yeah, Evil Dead and the very first, because I haven't seen the first Evil Dead in a long time, because I always start with Evil Dead 2, because Evil Dead 2 is Evil Dead 1 with a better budget. It is literally the exact same plot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's beat for beat. Kids feel like going to a cabin in the woods. They find the book of the dead, the Necronomicon,
The Necronomicon, even
wrapped
I know
in
that,
human skin, inked in human blood, and it was the exact same. But you could tell it was a better. So, but I watched the original one. I'm like, it's not bad for his very first, out of college movie, Sam Raimi.
Well, I mean,
I thought it was good.
Isn't Necronomicon? Isn't that Lovecraft lore?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Lovecraft.
But yeah, that's a great idea. The Necronomicon. It's just it's a horrifying concept.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool. You can, if you listen really closely, and when I was watching the first movie, you can hear it go, "Join us."
Nice.
Join us, and I was like, "That's awesome."
That's great.
So actually, I thought it was a pretty good movie. It's definitely a little bit step up from somebody filming with a camcorder in their backyard. So it was well done for his first. It was his actually first, movie.
I love that. I like the low budget. Just the efforts. The proof that you don't need to be that crazy big budget production.
Yeah.
Like I know this podcast has got like no budget, and they do okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think it's the root for the underdog in me.
Yes.
It's just
Underdog.
Yeah,
Oh,
I just can't help it. It's just I always love that. It's an American story. It's our favorite.
Yes.
We love the underdog coming up, rising through.
Yes. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. No.
That's great. Yeah. Yeah, if you do, actually, what we can do is we'll make a montage to a song of all the hard work, and then and at the end we'll be successful. That's how it works. That's
Yes.
We love that story.
I'm waiting for our first dollar we make so I can frame it.
That's great. Exactly. Yeah. But I mean, let's face it though. It's basically Rocky right on through.
Yep.
It's every story we've ever loved is that guy that's defied all odds, or that girl, or that creature, or whatever it might be, defies all odds. I'm not saying that's the only story there is. I'm just saying that's a timeless classic. We love that story.
Yeah. But in the scene where they film Rocky going up the stairs, like really tired at the beginning of the movie, and then later on after he does his little montage and he was like all hopping all the way up the stairs, they film it within an hour apart in real life. So I just ruined it for you.
That's fantastic.
It's a true story. They really was. It was just like a couple hours apart between the two scenes of him struggling and then being awesome.
That's great. When I
watch too many behind the scenes stuff.
I just wonder why they keep calling Connie Adrian.
Oh, but, I know. Connie.
Touch my sister again.
I'll
kill you.
And he beat the crap out of him.
Yeah, and it's funny. I don't even quote it correctly. I've actually gone back, and he doesn't actually say what I think he does, but it doesn't matter because Sonny was the shit.
I'll ruin it for you too. If you see that son where that scene where he's beating him up,
he doesn't even come close.
You can see him missing him.
Oh my God, he's not even close. He's like this far away.
He's like, whoa.
Oh yeah, it's not even close.
Nice try. He's like, oh.
Doesn't matter. It's the principle. It's the character that is Sonny that we love.
Yeah, I know.
It's the spirit.
Could have got a little closer, man.
I think I sent you that meme that Sonny would still be alive today if he had Easy Pass.
That's true, because that's where he was in the toll booth.
Fucking great.
Yeah, a spoiler for anybody who hasn't seen Godfather yet. Sonny dies at a toll booth.
Sonny doesn't make it.
Yes. It was like the toll booth was in the middle of nowhere. Did you remember that scene?
Yeah.
I was like, I would have drove around that thing.
Just exactly. Like, seriously, like, how did you not know to just step on the gas when shit started getting weird?
Yeah, I know. Just get out of there, poor Sonny.
But, whatever.
Anyway.
Speaking of movies, actually, because this will be our segue so casually into horror games, I guess.
Yes.
Oh, actually, we still got shows and shit to talk about. Boy, we're all over. I want to mention The Exorcist. We didn't talk about that last week, and I don't know how. We were talking about horror movies.
Yeah. I mean, I must have thought of it because I named the last episode The Power of Toot Compels You.
Exactly, yeah. And I love that name, too, by the way. Well done, Bravo.
But it's from The Exorcist, obviously.
It is, and that is my personal favorite horror movie, I'd have to say, because it makes me believe maybe there is a devil or it's like there's evil out there.
Yeah.
I don't actually believe it, but it's the kind of fear that is irrational, that makes you check the back seat of the car 4 times on the drive home. Why? Because who knows? Maybe Satan's back there this time. I don't know.
He is.
Yeah, he is.
Spoiler, he is. He's there. Always.
He's right behind you.
Yes.
Yeah. So I that's why I find that so terrifying. And I mean, just being an intellectual creature, I have to think, part of it has to do with the age I saw it at as well.
Yeah.
Because not for nothing, Darth Vader, when I first saw him, scared the shit right out of me.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very scary.
You know?
Yeah, because the first thing he did was start just killing people.
And he was just breathing. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, just the breathing. I'm like, okay, that's like, why are you
Yeah.
standing next to him, people? You should know better.
Yeah. Yeah, don't you feel bad for the actor David Prowse? Yes, I know the actor was in the suit. That he filmed all the dialogue and yelling and says, "Oh, where is the princess?" and all this stuff, and then he go watch the movie and goes, "That's not my voice."
Yeah.
Because he wasn't told.
Yeah, that's just rude.
Yeah, I know.
But I think even he had to admit that.
Yeah, James Earl Jones.
Yeah, way better.
He knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think he could have only been pissed for a few minutes. Like, God, that, well.
And yeah, it did sound better in my voice.
Yeah, exactly.
It's awesome.
That's great that you even know his name.
David Prowse, yeah. He was a wrestler in Britain.
Look at that.
What?
Yeah. I know no one.
I know too much about Star Wars.
Even the people I do know, it's completely, like I said Kira Sedgwick to my wife the other day because we had that bit on one of these shows, and I said, for some reason I knew Kevin Bacon's wife's name.
Yeah.
And
she's
like,
1 degree from him.
Yeah, and she's like, why would you know that? I'm like, I have no idea.
No idea.
No idea why I know her name.
Yeah.
And why I don't know other people's names. You know, it's amazing. So, yeah. Anywho,
we got to be a couple degrees from Kevin Bacon ourselves with us.
With Kevin Smith?
With Kevin Smith in there.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, we're endorsed by Kevin Smith. If you don't know that yet, check YouTube.
It's a real thing.
It's a real thing. Yeah, I know. I had to slip him a 20, but,
Hey, you do what you got to do.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, that's awesome.
He said I'm his favorite Kevin. Check it out.
Yeah, his second favorite at least.
Yep. That's true.
So you watch anything else? Because we're apparently doing the what are you watching section.
Yeah. So I think let you know. I finished up the Bly Manor one. I finished up American Horror Story.
Wow.
So and I'm still on my ongoing quest to finish South Park because apparently I've only seen like maybe 50. It sounds like a lot, 50 or 60 episodes.
That is a lot.
And there's way more than that.
Oh my God, yeah, they've been on forever.
Yeah, so I think I'm up to season 18 now.
That's crazy, yeah.
And I think there's a couple seasons left before we get to 2020.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah, the place is crazy. So yeah, that's always what I watch whenever we're done watching horror movies. I want them a little lighter.
Okay, so a little South Park before bed kind of thing.
Yeah, I like my South Park.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We finished that Utopia show. I'm telling you, dude, you add it to your list.
I will.
You know, I don't know what to say about it other than a premonition. Something about it tells me when it's all said and done, I'm not going to be that big a fan of the series.
Yeah.
But right now, it's fantastic. It's got some things I don't like in it. It is it's kind of campy. It's
Oh, you know I like camp.
It's whoa, we got sticky keys.
Unstuck.
The injuries that occur don't seem to have any sense of realism. So you have to suspend realism a bit. But beyond that, though, it's a fun story. You'll like it a lot, and it's got comic books. You're gonna love it. But you know, it's a neat concept, and it's a fun kind of adventure show. So, not to mention, it's only one season right now. So, I found it very predictable. I called where it was going pretty quickly, but it was pretty neat. So, definitely worth a watch. I think you'll enjoy it. We started another show though called The 100, which I actually thought I knew about this, but I entirely didn't. Basically, the concept is mankind has been living on a space station above Earth because of nuclear war for, last 100 years. And they take 100 basically criminal children, and they...
the children are criminals?
Yeah. And they... and I say children, I mean they're all under 20. And they're like, hey, you know what we're going to do? We're going to shoot you down to Earth because we're kind of running out of resources, like, air, and we kind of like that. We're going to shoot you down to Earth and basically see if you die or not. And if you don't, then maybe we'll come down with you.
Oh, lovely.
So that's kind of the whole premise of the show.
Well, the show's old, huh?
I have no idea what's old for you.
It's in 7 seasons.
Oh, yeah, it's been out for a while. Yeah, so that's why we really jumped at it was we love to binge. Tons of things to bitch about with this show. It will drive you fucking crazy. The physics, be damned, is
Oh.
what they say.
I love physics in a show.
Oh, they don't. They have zero fucks to give about physics.
Jeez.
I'll just give you. There's one scene that I immediately thought of you because I laughed. So you got a space station, and there's a pod that wants to come off the space station. So it unhooks from the space station and falls to Earth.
Just gravity?
Because
No. There's a vacuum. No.
just,
No.
I saw it, and I'm telling you, I immediately thought of you because I'm like, oh, he'd be so pissed.
Yeah. Then what's holding the space station there?
Like,
What's holding the space station there?
precisely the point.
Balloons?
I'm telling you, I couldn't even focus on what was going on in the show because all I could think of was how pissed Kevin would be at that
I know.
scene.
That's what I'm saying. Reaction videos could be fun because I'd be mad.
See, that I'll have a reaction to it. Like,
Yeah,
I'll laugh
I'll be,
at you getting
"God
mad.
Damn it.
But that's about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll see where it's going. I'll give it a solid okay.
Yeah.
I'm not blown away by any measure. There's one, we're quite a few episodes into. I mean, I don't think we've finished season 1 yet, but we got to be getting close.
Yeah.
But, and I asked Mick the same thing. There are exactly 0 characters I give 2 shits about right now. And that's a problem.
Yeah.
Like, there are lots of characters. I just don't care about a single one of them. So if they all just get wiped out, I'd be like, yeah, whatever. What's your story? That's a problem.
Yeah. Well, you should watch that Raised by Wolves one.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
That one is
I've heard good things. People like it. They say it's weird, but they like it.
it's unpredictable. That's what
I
like
love
about it, too.
unpredictable.
Yeah. And you're like, oh, I root for. No, you're an asshole. Kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
It's like I thought I liked you, but no.
I'll let you know if I predict correctly or not.
Yeah. It's possible. I think some things you might be able to predict, but I say some things is just out of left field too much.
Nice.
You're like, oh, what?
I love those though, and if I get any of them,
Yeah.
like I got one the other
Yeah.
day, and I blew Mickle's mind, and I don't even know what the hell it was.
Was a kaleidoscope made out of candy.
Yeah, it was something stupid. Like somebody in the show asked a question, and I answered it, and then the show answered it, and of course my answer was correct, and she just looked at me like, "Why would you know this?" And I'm like, I have 0 control over what I retain.
Yes. In fact, that's already gone. What I just said to you.
Yeah, exactly. I'm serious. I have no control over what actually sticks in my head and when it comes out, and half the time I'm as surprised as you are by what I'm hearing. It's crazy. So I'll keep you posted on the 100 as we progress, and other than that, that's really been about it.
Okay. And we're just going to keep the trend of watching, horror movies and supernatural thriller kind of thing for the rest of the month.
Yep.
So Charlize found a list on Netflix of a bunch of horror movies you may not have seen, and
Nice.
there's a list out there of and I've already picked out a bunch we're gonna watch. So we pretty much try to watch them like Friday and Saturday nights.
Well, maybe not this episode, but next episode is still going to be before Halloween, so maybe you can have some recommendations for folks.
Okay, yeah, I can recommend some of these movies. Like I already recommend Bly Manor. I think that was a great.
Yeah, and I was going to say,
series,
I mean, your recommendation specifically too,
yeah.
not like, hey, I saw this, I dug it. Not like, hey, here's the Shawshank of horror movies.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I think the next one I'm going to watch is called The Autopsy of Jane Doe.
Oh, nice.
So I think I'll be watching that one next.
Okay.
So I'll let you know how that goes.
Interesting.
Yeah. It looked kind of freaky.
Yeah, wonder who Jane is.
Well, that's not her name.
Maybe, who knows? Maybe
her real name is Jane Doe.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't know.
I don't.
You don't know her life.
I don't know her story.
Yeah, I don't know her story. Can't you have a woman named Jane Doe?
You could theoretically. I mean, I'd imagine somebody out there is in fact named Jane Doe.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I bet that's a pain right in the ass, actually.
I know.
I bet everything is difficult for that poor girl.
Yeah, I remember read an article like a year ago that somebody changed their license plate, the vanity plates, to null.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And they got tickets.
Yeah.
Like
and
hundreds and
it
thousands.
just completely broke the system.
Yeah, like, oh, yeah, null goes to you.
Yep. You get to pay. Yep.
Yeah, like that's instant regret. I was like, oh, crap. I shouldn't have got that.
It's clever, though.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I can break this system.
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, I read one, and I don't know what it would be exactly, but I'll put it this way. It looked like just a few characters and a few symbols and I'm trying to do it here. How would it work? It basically looked like random stuff, but backwards in a mirror, it looked like something lewd. And so the guy had the license plate, but they took it away from him. So I'm just going to show Kevin on this one, see if it makes sense.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
and I'm like, when I read that, I'm like, God damn, people are clever.
Yeah.
Because that dude had that license for a bit of time.
Yeah.
And basically the concept, considering I curse like constantly on the show, I don't know why I'd be reluctant to say, the concept is it says ass sex backwards.
Yeah.
But he used dollar signs for the S's.
Yeah.
And when you look at it, normally it just looks stupid. It doesn't look like anything. But if you saw it in a mirror,
Yeah.
and I'm like, God damn, that dude's clever.
It is clever.
But
He's erasing it now.
he lost it. I am, yes. For all the kids in my, I got nothing. I have no idea why. Yeah, I got nothing. Yeah, I'm weird. I don't know what to tell you. Got nothing. You hang out with me. What do you want?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know how we landed on that one.
I don't know what's awesome.
But
you're gonna listen later to see how we got this far.
exactly, I will too. But so horror games.
Horror games, yes. Over the years, so we're gonna segue into horror video games. So I think we should just be an open discussion. I don't think anyone wants to hear like a top 10 horror list kind of deal, but I just want to talk about horror games that I've liked. So I'm not going to talk about horror games that I've just heard of or haven't played. I'm only going to talk about horror games I've actually played.
I literally don't
and
know
liked.
if I've played that many horror games, but I can talk about one.
More than you know.
It's quite possible.
So I'm going to start with. I'll start with this one. Let's discuss this game. Ghouls and Ghosts or Ghosts and Goblins?
You'd call that a horror game?
It's a horror game. It's got monsters and zombies.
Oh, then I've played a shit ton of horror games.
Told you. Monsters and zombies is a horror game.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be jump scares.
It would never occur to me. You literally fight Satan in that. You fight Lucifer.
Yes, that's not horror.
He looked friendly.
No, that's horror.
Wow, that's funny.
Yes.
Love that game. Yeah, absolutely. The whole series, the Ghosts and Goblins, the Ghouls and Goblins.
Yes.
You're basically a little knight running around. Yeah, throwing lances at shit.
And lances at zombies and Satan.
Yeah, and you can get different weapons.
Yeah.
And that game is a douche, is the best way I can say it.
Yeah.
The original, I don't know about Ghouls and Goblins, but the original Ghosts and Goblins,
Yeah.
you get good enough to play through it, and it's a hard game. And you finally get to Satan, and you beat him. And do you know what happens?
I know now because I just assume I won and I turned the game off, so I've never went further.
Oh,
You've told me.
I've beaten the game, but yeah, basically Satan just explains to you, haha, just kidding. Now let's do it for real. And then you start literally at the beginning, and everything is just more miserable. And then to make it even worse is you have to get on the level before Satan, you have to get a specific weapon that, I think it appears 2 spots, but you just have to know to get that weapon and bring that with you because it's the only way you can kill Satan.
Yeah, see, I didn't know, so I have beat him once, and I just figured it's one of those old games that just started over.
Oh, yeah, no.
So I quit. I'm like, oh, I won. I'm done.
No, he actually laughs at you. There's some text there that's like, haha, that was all just a joke
Yeah.
or a dream or, basically screw you.
Oh,
I like those
didn't read that.
quarters,
Yeah,
but I'd like more quarters. That's basically what he's saying. But yeah, great games.
Great game.
Ghouls and Ghosts, same thing. I mean, great games.
And here's the next horror game, Doom.
You're going through hell. What could be more horror than that?
Yes.
I've played every Doom.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I love the Dooms. Actually, no, I haven't played the latest one. But
it's great.
yeah, it's a great game.
I don't know what to say. It's Doom. It looks
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yes.
I mean, it really does look. It looks beautiful.
But a lot of people don't consider that a horror game.
Absolutely not.
But it is.
Never would have occurred to me.
Yeah.
That's funny, actually.
Yeah.
Well, I want to throw mine out there because
Yeah.
I bet it's
Yeah,
on
what's
your
yours?
list now.
I'm curious now.
Mine was a little game called Diablo.
It's not on this list?
Diablo, the first one
Yeah.
specifically,
Horror game. Yep.
was, I suppose they're all horror games considering you're fighting Lords of Hell and
Yep.
it's named Devil, but
Yeah.
hey, you
Yes.
know, the first Diablo was scary. It was a horror game, and that's
Butcher.
that's what they've lost, and I wish they'd get that back. Where the Butcher, just the stories behind it were so tragic. And the king going mad, the bishop leading the villagers under the cathedral, and it was dark, it was grim. Literally, the game started with a dude. Well, most of the time it was random quests, but started with a dude bleeding out of the church, saying, "Hey, you got to help me." And it was it was a scary game the first time you played it. The first
Yeah.
time I came across a horned demon, you literally walk into this room and you hear them, and you have no idea what they are because you haven't seen them yet. It's the first
Yeah.
time playing the game, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, these two horned demons charge you, and I'm, you know me, I don't react to shit. I jumped.
Yeah. You're like, whoa. Jump scare.
Yeah, it kind of was,
Well,
and in an action RPG, it was awesome.
yeah.
And
Definitely a horror game.
yeah, so that was my one and only that I could think of
I
that I'd played.
yeah, I grant you that as a horror game.
So boy, I have played more horror games,
Oh.
but boy, anything with a monster in it. I mean, like,
Basically,
my
yeah.
God. So yeah, what else do you have? That's
There's a
loving
game
this.
that this game is I think my only real cheat in the thing. I've never played it personally, but I sat and watched my brother play it.
Okay.
It's a game called Manhunt by Rockstar Games, and
Oh, okay. It's funny. I think of Manhunt. I think Sierra.
yeah. So this one is you're just a murderer that has to murder his way out of some guy. I forget what he did, why he put you there, but you basically have to put plastic baggies over people's heads and choke them to death. And this was a kids game. It was very controversial that Rockstar did this.
This sounds like my type of game, actually.
Yeah, so it was out for PC and I think PS3 and PS4 and the Xbox 360. But yeah, it's a messed up game, and I think your name is something like Casey something. I
I
forget.
doubt very much it was a kids game. I suspect Rockstar it probably had
Yeah.
the 18 and over, but
Yeah,
parents don't
but
pay
I
attention.
played it when I watched my brother play it when I was probably like 13 or 14,
yeah.
you know. So I'm like, this game is like messed up. So it's like a game that this guy's putting you through. Where you have to kill your way out of this this jail building. I guess he put you in.
Okay.
So it's pretty messed
Did
up.
your brother beat it?
I don't recall.
Okay.
I don't recall. But I now want to play it now. If I see it on sale for PC at Steam for $5, I'll pick it up because
Sure.
from what I've read, it's you wouldn't consider it controversial now.
Yes. Well, it's funny. No, social norms change, and they
Yeah.
change dramatically.
Yeah.
One of the reasons I think comedy's so important. They're
Yeah.
always pushing that envelope.
The boundaries.
People things that are outrageous today, people don't even.
Yep.
They're like whatevs. But with that,
Yeah.
the Manhunt game, I haven't actually been on Steam, so I'd
Yeah.
imagine there's got to be. Maybe not yet. I don't know when they'd trigger them, but in the next week or two, I would think
Oh.
there'd be a sale on horror games in general
There should be.
because, they're Halloweeny special.
Yeah, I wonder when Manhunt for Rockstar. Manhunt. It's got Unabomber as like the first thing to pop up.
Oh,
No.
actually, not for nothing. Have you seen that? Manhunt, the miniseries, Unabomber?
No,
It's fucking
no.
phenomenal. Seriously, it was a really good miniseries.
Yeah, yeah, this game. Yeah, that was the cover right there. Which I can.
Yeah,
Actually,
Unabomber was scary. The dude is
show
fucking
people.
smart, like scary smart. Not just because he blew people up, but the dude is smart.
Yeah, so it was PC, PS4 even.
Yeah.
PlayStation 2. So it's been out for a while, but yeah, it's pretty. There's always cameras catching you doing bad things, and you just spend the game just killing people.
Sounds fantastic.
So yeah, if it's on sale at some point, maybe I'll pick it up. It can't be that expensive now.
Sure. Yep.
So yeah, that's a horror game.
I could say that. Yeah, a bit of the ultra violence. Yeah.
Ultraviolet.
Um,
The next one, you and I played extensively. Left 4 Dead 2.
Okay, zombie game. Yep.
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 The Witch. The
uh,
Witch was scary.
The Witch definitely was scary.
Yes.
There's no two ways about it. The Witch
Yeah.
was well done.
Yeah.
I give them mad props because sooner or later you're fucking bumping into one.
You just
and
hear it.
Yeah, and you were just like,
You hear a baby crying.
yeah. Oh, they were brutal, man, when they came at you too.
You're like, what's that?
Um,
It's nearby.
yeah, they were a problem. Great game. I definitely love both Left 4 Deads.
Yep. Second one was better, but they're both good.
They were fantastic though, yeah. And we only played a little bit, but the World War Z, that was kind of the same vibe, not quite as good.
Did we play it? I'm not sure.
I definitely played it.
I don't think I played it multiplayer.
Oh, maybe
with
we
you.
didn't play it then. I played it and then I stopped
Oh,
because I
okay.
was like, you know what? I'm kind of digging this,
Yeah.
and I should be doing this with Kevin.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, eventually we'll pick up some video games that are playing them because I think there's another
Exactly.
horror video game that you picked up for us
yeah,
to play.
I don't even know the name of it.
Phantasma something.
Yeah,
yeah.
Phantasma, who's
Yeah.
not going to work here anymore.
Yeah, yeah. We'll eventually play that one. Yeah, exactly. So then the next one on my list is Metro.
I played one of the Metro. I played the Metro Redux. Yeah, whatever the hell that is.
Metro 2033, and then the new one is, which I did pick up. I haven't played it yet. I have installed, so we'll be playing it soon. Metro Exodus. So they have a brand new version that just came out, and it's now at a reasonable sale now, price we can find it.
I thought it was a well put together game.
It's based on a book.
I enjoyed it. The story was interesting enough. I didn't. I don't think I'll go back to it anytime soon.
No.
I want to say I bought a bundle though, so I have a few Metro games.
Yeah. The Exodus is supposed to be the best one story wise.
Well, it's the latest one.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that one, and I like it because it has a cool concept. I mean, I felt like the last game kind of wrapped things up with the creatures that lived on the surface. That kind of, you basically killed them all out in the first game in a nuclear explosion. Spoilers. And then there's like one left, and it was like a child.
Yeah.
So it turned out that you had a mental connection with it.
That was weird. Yep.
It's kind of weird. So I kind of like that stuff. Yeah, I think it's kind of interesting. So I'm kind of curious what this game is now.
Yeah, that was kind of it was a bummer, the story. Yeah, it was tragic.
Oh yeah, because basically everyone's living up in the metro with since you can't live on the surface at all. It's dangerous up there.
Yep. And meanwhile, you're still finding a way to do genocide on the weird little alien things.
Yeah. And they just wanted to eat your face. I mean, come on, you can't blame them. Yeah. They're hungry.
Everybody's got to eat.
Yeah, I know. My next one is that I want to talk about, and this one I don't know if I told this story on the podcast portion yet, but it's called Bloodborne.
Okay.
And this is a game where I got it for free.
Wow.
On the PS4. I installed it, played it for an hour, and uninstalled the game. And then a guy works says, you got to try it again. And I'm like, all right. So I installed the game, re-downloaded it, installed the game, played it for an hour, uninstalled it. I'm like, I hate this game. He goes, I can't get anywhere. And the guy at work explained to me again, his name is Steven, said to me, no, you're supposed to die in the game. That the point of the game is to die. And it's a scary game. It's all HP Lovecraftian lore. Okay. So it's very interesting lore, but it's, you're fighting against monsters, like crazy monsters with like 10 heads and, tentacles all over the place. Okay. So it's definitely a horror game. And then one day I was like, okay, let me just try. And then I went and fought a boss, and all of a sudden this thing called Insight showed up. I was like, what's that mean? So I'll go back into the dream world, and this doll woke up and said, oh, would you like me to raise your level? I was like, oh, you're supposed to die in the game, get stronger, and come back and beat it. So basically what it is that the game, if you play it right, is infinitely easier. And I've seen playthroughs where people can play the whole game and never get hit once. You can actually grok that game so much that you can play through the game, begin and then never get hit.
So you never get a level?
Well, you get level. Well, you hit them. They just don't hit you. Okay. So you get levels. So you just get, and eventually get so strong where you just don't have to hit things very much to kill them, even giant bosses. Okay. So the game turned out to be fun, but interesting.
Castlevania kind of game? What is it?
Bloodborne?
Yeah, I'm thinking Castlevania for some reason, but I don't know.
Bloodborne.
And so so PS4 you say?
PS4, and it was for free, and I highly, highly recommend this game. May not be appropriate for children.
Absolutely not. Not when I'm involved. Jesus.
I think it will actually turn the music down, because who knows, I don't want to be. Look at this. You got like that's how the game starts. It's like a blood vial. It's pretty awesome. I mean, this is an awesome game.
So it's more of like a Dark Souls then?
It's Dark Souls, yeah. So it's like Victorian.
Well, I mean, what kind of like you're standing? What kind of viewpoint?
Oh, it's like a Dark Souls. So okay, it's like this view, but Dark Souls is more of a deflecting game where you hold up your shield, you get hit, then you hit back. Yeah. This one you have no shields. Yeah. It's an aggressive fighting game, and it's actually kind of a blast. This is not any of the gameplay.
But no, I get the concept.
So I highly recommend this game. It's actually a really well done story.
My problem is I'm so far behind on games, it's stupid.
I mean, so that's the gameplay.
Yeah.
And it's fun.
Yeah, it looks it.
It is actually a very fun game. And there's a story there, and you got to pick it up. With From Software, they don't. They don't really do the whole in any of the games. The whole like let's watch a trailer or like a big cutscene to
Yeah.
explain the lore to you. No, you got to find pieces of paper or something that kind of explains the lore to you. You don't really learn it by just playing the game.
Yeah, I hear you.
So and the game is very beautiful, runs well on the PS4, and it's only on the PS4. You can't play it anywhere else.
I can tell you how many speedruns I've seen where somebody spent countless hours playing a game and they're phenomenal at it in a way like you can barely understand. And they're like, "What's the lore of this book?" And they're like, "I have no fucking idea."
You have no idea. No idea.
No idea what they're talking about here. I just know how to mash the buttons a certain way.
So that game is starting to get to the realm where the game is starting to get more frightening. As it is really the horror way you expect a horror game to be. Is like this is kind of scary. Things are jumping at you, especially if you're a new player. You're like, oh crap! And how am I gonna get out of this? And giant pigs are coming after you, and you're like, how do I get out of this? There's people shooting flames at you, and there's creatures that jump on you and try to suck your brains out of your head, and you're like, what the hell? It's kind of cool. Giant spiders. The people would hate that.
So you did end up liking it after all.
I ended up liking it, and I actually purchased the DLC. There's one DLC for it, and it's a great DLC. And it kind of fills in more of the backstory of it. But it's all H.P. Lovecraftian. You find a lot of creatures that are like mostly just skin and bones with some weird appendage coming out of them. And
Yeah.
so it's definitely it definitely has deep horror roots. Yeah. There's one scene where you just go into a dungeon and you pull this lever, and this giant eyeball just slams into the into the abyss.
Okay.
And you can eventually work your way back down to the abyss and see this eyeball, and you can communicate it with symbols that you pick up in the game. So it's really kind of weird.
That is odd.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's really a cool game, and it's something worth experiencing, and even worth watching somebody else do a playthrough of it, especially a good person. Like a Fighting Cowboy. I highly recommend his playthroughs.
Okay. You watch particular people do playthroughs?
Yeah.
Fighting Cowboy.
Fighting Cowboy. He does all the Dark Souls and all those games. So.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, he's a good one to watch.
Nice.
Next one you played.
Well, I've got one written down now. You inspired me. But...
Alan Wake.
Oh yeah, they weren't. I didn't find them particularly terrifying.
But they're a horror game. And,
they were.
And well, one, you got to remember the first time I played it, you can't cheat.
Yeah.
So I played it Xbox 360. I have the version. It actually came in a big box set with book and everything. So there's a lot of backstory too to the game that you receive when you purchase the game.
Did you know what to do with the book?
I don't know. Well, I'm assuming you just leave it back in the box.
That's
I never
what
read
I'm guessing.
Yeah, I never read it. I never read it. But it came with the book. I was like, look, it came with the book. No, I never read it. I have no idea what inside the book. I should take a look at it.
I think there's
it's
words
right
in
next
there,
to my entertainment center right now.
Oh, that's great.
But I liked it because I liked the atmosphere.
Yeah.
And
it did have some. I think it did have some jump scare moments, like dudes appearing like way too close, way too suddenly.
Well, then you pick up these pieces of paper that were foreshadowing. Like when you first start playing the game, the first piece of paper you pick up, it goes, and the bloody man jumped from there with the tractor trying to kill me, and you're like, and like 10 minutes later, it's happening.
Yep.
And you're like, oh shit, this is about ready to happen to me.
Yep.
And the fact that you have to use your flashlight to burn off, their darkness energy before you can even shoot them was actually kind of a cool.
Oh yeah, that was a cool mechanic.
Cool mechanic, but just imagine playing it when you had limited number of batteries.
Oh yeah.
it was really a tough experience. First time I played it was difficult to play the game.
Oh, I guarantee I activated and had I had a freaking flashlight on a dude in a truck with the spotlight on.
So the first time I played the game, I beat it fair and square.
Nice.
Fair and square, and it was difficult.
I bet.
It's a totally different. I played it since with the activation, and it's much easier.
Oh, I bet.
Much
yeah,
easier.
there's something to be said for cheating like hell.
Yeah, but when you don't, I find that makes the game scarier. The fact that I'm going to run out all my resources.
See, I don't find it scary. I find it scarier in the sense that like playing Diablo hardcore.
Yeah.
Hardcore, you die.
Oh, I died once and I quit. Just so you know.
Yeah.
I did. I've never played again.
Yeah.
Since I died.
Yeah. It upsets you that much.
Upset me.
I read somewhere how you do it. And you didn't. I even told you this, but you didn't listen.
No,
you don't play for your character. You play for your chest. You play for your inventory, and you make that inventory as good as you can because that character is going to die. But anyway, it's uncomfortable, but it's not. I don't know. It's not scary. It's just nerve wracking, And there's a difference to me.
Yeah. And I did find the story kind of fascinating and how it played out, and how in the end, a lot of people didn't understand the ending, and there's a lot of people googling what does the ending of Alan Wake means, and I knew right away. Basically, he sacrificed himself because he always said there has to be balance.
Mm-hmm.
So, spoiler, he sacrifices himself at the end to save his girlfriend.
Yeah, I don't even remember.
So she crawls out of the lake, and he's like gone in the void.
He's standing in the corner.
Yeah, standing in the corner.
That's something else.
That's another. Yeah. So I personally did enjoy the game very much, and it's definitely a horror game.
I didn't dislike it. I did not play both of them though. There's like a Alan Wake American Horror Story, I think.
Yeah, that's basically him still stuck in the nightmare because of what he did in the first game.
Okay, I didn't play that one because I think you told me not to.
It was okay.
Yeah.
I gave it a solid meh.
Yeah. The first one you liked though.
The first one I liked. Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I didn't dislike it.
And there was actually some DLCs for the first one that was good.
I don't know if I played the DLC.
Yeah, there's some DLCs for the very first one. Those are good, but the sequel was different. It wasn't even the same kind of game. You're just in one town and never really left it. And it just like, it's more like just a regular shooter at that point.
Okay.
Yeah, it didn't have a story. Is my point.
Yep.
It's like meh.
Well, we talked about this game before, and it may be on your list, but The Evil Within.
That is actually on my list. Yes, The Evil Within.
That fucking intro, that first game, that beginning, that opening scene, aside from being gruesome.
Yeah.
That is the stuff horror is made of. It's truly perfection.
Yeah.
I have to say they couldn't have done a better job on that scene.
It was a great setup because the game starts and you're just driving along in a cop car. You go to this, I guess, an insane asylum. I'm not sure what it was, but then you see blood and dead bodies everywhere. And then next thing you know, you look in this computer. I remember vividly. You look at a computer monitor and you can see someone killing people, and then they look up at you.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, they're in front of you. It looks like they're going to stab you, and then all of a sudden, black.
Yep.
And then when you wake up,
you're upside down.
You're upside down and hanging in chains with this guy just walking around slowly. And if you don't do anything, you will die.
You will die.
You will die.
Yep. Oh, you die. I mean, I don't know about you.
Yeah.
That first time just figuring out how to grab the key and get the door open.
Yeah.
That's all you're doing.
Yeah.
I probably died 10 times.
Yeah.
And it's the reason I give them a perfect is you figure out what you need to do. First of all, you figure out, okay, there's the key. I got to grab it. I somehow have to fucking get this key without this madman seeing me and get to the door.
Yeah.
And you're all fucked up. So you're moving slow, and it's so dreamlike. Because let's face it, we've all had that dream that for whatever reason, we want to go, 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 and everybody else is moving at full speed, and we are stuck in molasses.
Yeah.
You know, it's just that slow motion dream horror.
He was like dragging his leg and stuff.
It perfectly captured that, and it was just so good because it was just. I mean, I remember the first time I got that door open, I was just like, fucking go,
Yeah.
don't make noise, get it through there. And, you know, it gets that, and that's what you're after. I really think they nailed it. I never actually beat that first one.
Oh, I have. It's worth beating.
I made it pretty far, but I will admit it lost my attention. But as we progressed, it became more game-like where I didn't find it anywhere near as terrifying as that opening scene. But really, that opening scene is seriously worth the price of admission. It was so well done.
Yep. So did you get to the point of the game where it explained why you were there?
Nope, I don't think so. I made it to the farm. I found some dude. There was some weird kid.
Yeah. So there's a point in the game where they like all of a sudden you're like, oh, that's what's happening.
Oh, okay. So I've not gotten there.
Yeah, there's a moment in the game where it becomes like a movie where like,
Eureka. Okay, I'll have to go back to that sometime because
it's worth. Game. That moment was pretty awesome in video gaming.
Okay.
When that Eureka moment, because you just figure the game is just going to be just a whole murder repeat as you're working your way through the game, and then all of a sudden the story kicks in. You're like, oh, this is not what I thought it was.
Oh, that's interesting. So yeah I've always planned on going back to that anyway because I found it to be it was just a well put together game.
Yeah.
Worth
playing to the end.
Okay, I'll have to give it another try. I think it was big too. I think that's probably why I removed it too.
It was
I
pretty
probably need space.
Yeah, it's probably what's that one vampire movie with Quentin Tarantino?
Dusk Till Dawn.
Dusk Till Dawn. Yeah, it's kind of like that where you watch the movie and halfway through you're like, oh, there's vampires here. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, something different going on.
Yeah, so I'm not saying there's vampires in the middle of the game. I'm just saying,
I hear you barking.
Yeah, it's just also
there's something unexpected.
Oh, you're like, oh, okay.
I'll have to check that. And you said you played the second. I never played the second.
I played half of the second.
Okay.
And it's a totally different game. And I've the same thing where I probably should have completed it, and I've read so many things from it afterwards, and I'm like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have given up on it.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go back to the second one.
So I need to go back to the first. You need to go back to the second.
Yeah, I will play it. I will play the second one. And this is a good month to do it. So there's a couple horror games I want to play this month.
Nice.
And Metro is one of them. And I think, Evil Within 2, I'll probably make it through that one then.
See, I would call Evil Within horror games. See, that's the other thing. I knew just wouldn't be able to think of the games that I played.
Yeah.
But you got anything else on your list? I love that.
Oh, of course. I got this. Now, this game you haven't played, but I have. And it was free in the PlayStation 4 at one point, I think, but I'm not sure.
Oh.
Until Dawn.
Oh, I thought you were going to go with PT.
Oh, that's on my. It's
right there. I don't know why they don't fucking sell that demo.
I know.
Mean, everybody would buy it. It's so good.
Oh, if anyone's listening, I have PT in my PlayStation 4, and eventually I'll be getting rid of the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5. It's up for sale. I'm just saying.
That's great.
It is. I can play PT all I want because I have it, and so technically that's worth something.
It is?
Because you cannot get that unless you get the PlayStation 4. So it might be worth you playing it once. Right on my... Because a playthrough does not do justice.
Oh, no, I hear you.
Have you seen that PT ever hacked? There's a guy that...
I know that she's behind you the whole time.
She's attached to your shoulders.
Yeah.
So she's always there. And you can actually see her in the mirror if you look right. The dirty, dusty mirror, you can kind of see her.
That's great.
It's messed up.
She's hanging on.
Hanging on for, dear life. So that's on... Might as well talk about that because that one... That PT, the first time I played it, I didn't know what it was.
It looks so fucking good.
I didn't know it was a horror. It just was very... At the time, when you're downloading games, it was early in the PlayStation 4's life cycle.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, what's this free demo trailer for? I'm like, what is it for? They didn't even announce what it was for.
Nice.
So you had no idea when you grabbed it. You're like... Because you didn't know it turned out to be Silent Hills. You had no idea.
I don't know what that has to do with Silent Hill in the sense that PT, I mean, I've seen a playthrough of PT, and it was a well-crafted game that was scary as shit. And then there's Silent Hill.
Stands for playable trailer.
Okay.
So that's all it was, just PT, playable trailer.
Like the Silent Hill games aren't even, they're not even in the same category as that demo. They're not even close from what I've seen.
Well, there's some games that I think do come close of the creepiness. Like one of the first things in the game, when you first start playing the game, and you walk it, and you eventually can get into the bathroom, and you see like an aborted baby screaming. You're like, that's messed up. And you kind of see things like that in the Silent Hill games. Like you see weird like nurses without faces on them, or baby heads on crap crawling at you.
Like when you look down the hallway and you see her there.
Yeah.
That's fucking great.
Yeah.
That's just because it's terrifying.
Yeah, I did have some jump scares on that.
Yeah.
And I've learned that there is there's a clock when you first enter the hallway, because you end up going the same hallway over and over again.
Yeah.
There's a clock in there that when it hits midnight, that's when she shows up.
Yeah.
So you can actually plan if you turn around, she'll be standing behind you and you die and the game ends.
Nice.
So I've actually done it and just like a couple months ago, just to see her, and there she was, and I knew she was going to be there, and I still jumped. I was like, oh shit.
That's great.
But you can kind of hear her too, whispering.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that game is actually fun with headphones on too, because of
the horror,
the noise,
without a doubt.
And the atmosphere. So it's great. So yeah, I personally had no idea what the ending was until I beat it, and then I'm like, oh, it's Norman Reedus walking down the street with a game we'll never see.
It's awesome.
And I thought it would have been a great game.
Yep.
So and we end up getting Norman Reedus UPS Man instead.
Go figure.
Yeah.
I can't remember The House on the Hill. I think that's the horror game I've been playing.
Yeah.
I haven't gone back to it since, but it's got a couple jump scares that actually got me too, that I enjoyed. I mean, it had a bunch of jump scares, but I mean, like a couple of them. And it's funny too. So sometimes it's the dumbest shit. I mean, the one that got me the best was the dumbest by far. It was simply, I walked out of a room and a ghost, like they did the sharp violin and a ghost flew right by me and entirely got me. I was just like, and I'm like, you got me.
That's awesome.
And I don't know if I mentioned this last episode, but it did something I find to be fucking genius.
What?
I kept dying on this boss in the game, which it was just, I didn't know how to kill her, but I figured it out. AKA I Googled it and then I killed her. It was super easy too. It's just, I had no fucking idea what it's doing. But, so I reloaded seriously like 10 times. I just kept dying. And out of those 10 loads, one time, her face just randomly appeared screaming. And I fucking applauded. I didn't jump at all. I clapped.
Yeah, like clapped.
Because I was like, I must have loaded 10 times. And it was like on time 8, it did that. I was like, oh, that is fucking great. Because you just wouldn't see it coming. And, it made me happy. But, it seems to be broken up into chapters. I think I've beaten 3,
Yeah.
and I think there are 5. So I'll keep you guys posted on that.
Yeah.
But I'm digging it. It was cheap. I want to say it was like $8. Might have been 6.
Oh, they're expensive for you.
Yeah, I saved up. Um, but and it's exactly what I wanted. It's very Stanley Parable in the sense that you do get some instructions that you can or cannot listen to. And the narrator
I'm
will
playing a
yell at
scary
you.
game.
Whoa.
Oops, sorry.
Over there are people outside, right out of this door.
But at the same token, it's different every single time, basically. So even though you keep going through the same thing, kind of like the Stanley Parable, every time it's different. So at first you break in through the door and you have to, deactivate the alarm. Next time it's like, hey, go in through the window. At this point now, you go in and he starts talking about deactivating the door. You get up front, there's not even a fucking door. You just walk in.
That's kind of PT-ish.
But things just keep getting weirder and weirder. Yeah. And I'm digging it. I'm definitely digging it.
Yeah.
So I'll let you all know how it ends. I can tell you already, though, for the less than $10 that I spent, entirely worth I don't care how it ends. Even if it has a crappy ending and I say, boy, piece of crap, you shouldn't play it. I've gotten my money's worth out of it already. Yeah. It's got some. It's just good fun.
Yeah.
So digging the horror games. So you said after
until
dawn.
Yeah, until dawn. We got distracted by PT, but Until Dawn. If you haven't played it, it's worth playing because it's basically a Friday the 13th slasher flick that you play through characters and try to see how many you can keep alive by the end of the game.
Yeah.
So every game there's choices all through it. It has Mr. Robot starring in it.
Yeah, Rami Malek.
Yeah. So
why do I know his name?
Yeah, Rami Malek. I know.
So are you actually controlling them, or is it more of a choose your own adventure where
you're controlling them?
Okay.
You actually are controlling them, but then there's points where you get to pick: am I going to go left? Or am I going to right? Am I going to save my friend? Am I going to take the easier path or quicker path? So there's choices all through the game, and it turns into the whole Saw, and so the game is kind of scary, and see now, so you can throw or run, you can decide.
I'd throw the vase.
Throw the vase.
Entirely. Fuck you, buddy.
So I do recommend the game. The game is fun.
Do you like that I'm narrating?
Yeah, you narrated. Yeah, throw you son of a bitch. But I've seen a picture that of all the branching paths, there's a giant. You can look up a giant chart of all the decisions, and it changes a lot of things in the game. So you can play this game 5 times and get completely different endings.
Have you ever seen the flowchart or the what do you call that? It's not a flowchart. The diagram, the decision tree.
Oh, the decision
you ever
tree.
Seen the decision tree to determine if you're Rob Base?
If you're Rob Base, no.
Yeah. It's do you want to rock right now? Yes or no?
Yes or no. That's
Did
awesome.
You come to get down.
That's awesome.
And it goes from there. But good stuff.
I do think they're releasing that on PC at some point, or
Okay,
they
cool.
have already. So, but I think it's a fun game, and it's a game that doesn't have a whole lot of replay value. I mean, it has some where you can actually play it like 3 or 4 times, but then that's it.
Yeah.
Then you pretty much see most
Once you're
paths.
exhausted.
Once you're exhausted,
Most
but
of the paths. Yeah. Apologize for yawning.
that's all right. I'm boring.
You're killing me.
The next game on the list is on my list, anyways, is a game called Little Nightmares, and it's
I'm unfamiliar.
It's a I have beat this game, and
Sounds intriguing. What system did you play such a
I
game
played
on?
this system on the PC, but it's on everything. It's even on the Nintendo Switch.
Huh. So this is a fairly recent game.
Yeah, fairly the last couple years. Let's see.
I've never heard of such a thing.
Yeah, there's some screenshots.
Oh, it looks
from
beautiful.
Yeah, so it's kind of
Looks like claymation almost.
Yeah, it's almost like claymation, and you can see in. Oh, it's $20 here.
Maybe one day.
Maybe one day. Maybe one day. So yeah, you're just a little tiny kid, and you're trying to make it through. It's almost like I wouldn't say it's a puzzle. You just work your way through from one side of the room to the other, and it does have a small story that kind of breaks out, but there's no dialogue in the game. But yeah, there's creatures if they catch you, and you see there's blood and stuff. So it's the game. What I can think of is this is what a child's nightmare could be like.
Yeah.
So this is a nightmare from a child's perspective. So it is kind of messed up and dark, and I do recommend the game. It's
It looks creepy AF.
So I have beat it. It takes a little bit to beat, a few hours. It's not a long game, so I don't think it's terrible. And they have actually made sequels since then that I haven't played yet, and DLCs. But yeah, you can tell it's kind of messed up.
The monsters look really well crafted.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. I think there's like bodies tapping your darkest childhood fears.
That's great.
So I do recommend this as a nightmare-inducing horror game, and yeah, it was actually kind of fun.
It's funny. I recommend this if you never want to sleep.
If you never want to sleep again, I highly recommend this game. So
awesome.
All right, my list is almost done. Oh yeah, I think I only have like one or two more games here.
Well, the sad part is, even with your list, I'm absolutely positive you and I are forgetting.
Yeah.
Especially with your broad definition of horror.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely certain you and I are missing. I'll even go so far as to say 100 games that you and I have played that fall into the category.
Well, I got one game in this list left that you have played.
Okay.
So that'll help. But so PT was my next one.
Yeah, great.
Skip that one. The next one I'll do. So I got 2 games left. One I cannot say enough about is one of the best games ever made. Last of Us.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Not the second one. The
You
second
calling that a horror? Why so? Or how so?
one, it's about the end of the world.
Mm-hmm.
It's about a plague that is based on something that exists on Earth. It kills everybody off, and then you end up in dark corridors fighting off zombies.
Okay, there are zombies. All right.
Yeah, they don't call them zombies in the game, but they're basically infected.
Yeah.
And they come out, and some of these infected are bloaters. That means they've been infected for a really long time. So it's very difficult to defeat them. So they're coming at you throwing their spores at you, trying to kill you. So there's blood and people's being stabbed, their heads cut off. There's a lot of blood in the game. There's actually quite a bit of blood in the game. So it is not if you can play this game and if you're young, you could get nightmares from this game. To me, that's a horror game.
Well, yeah, once again, I have to say, too, to anybody thinking, boy, these games are too violent. No, they're not. Parents need to actually do this thing, and it's really a bitch. It's not easy to do, and you got to do it for a long time. It's called parenting. And if you don't like the concept, because I certainly don't become a parent.
Yeah.
But yeah, if your kids are playing, if you're taking your kids to see old Poltergeist at 7, or you're giving them access to video games that are meant for 18 and above, I mean, don't get me wrong. You're going to fuck up your kids no matter what because, well, that's what your parents did to you, and it's been happening forever. But you don't have to help it. You don't have to embrace that. So I mean, things like that, they would traumatize a child. They should not be seeing those games. And don't get me wrong, I was a bad kid too, in the sense that, like I'd always said, I would seek out the things that were 18 or over. That was my guide to buying them. But you should at least make it difficult for the child. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But be that as it may.
It didn't mess me up playing those kind of games when I was a kid, but I'm okay.
No, you're fucked up from all the movies you were taking.
I know.
Games didn't have a chance.
So my last game is called, and I want to read this correctly, First Encounter Assault Reconnaissance. Also known as...
That's funny, Fear. Yeah, I have played the Fear games. Actually, you just inspired me on another one, too. The Fear games are fun, cheap jump scares. Absolutely love it.
Crazy little girl.
Yep.
Climb up the stairs.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Climbing the ladder, yeah.
Climb the
ladder,
yeah.
you just know she's entirely going to be there to grab you. And to your point, it's funny because you climb a lot of ladders in that game, and every one, I'm like, oh, she's entirely kind of jump out and fucking grab me. And again, it's a little Asian girl because we don't like little dark-haired Asian girls for some reason. And sooner or later, you're right, and she does come out to grab you. And even though you've been expecting on every ladder, you still jump because it's just scary shit.
Here, I'm going to show it here.
Jump scare. Jump scare alert, folks.
Yeah, it's a jump scare.
So if you scare easy, well, you're probably going to.
Yeah, so this is the ladder scene in particular that the first time you see this girl.
Yeah, it's so great. And you know it's coming, and then she'd be,
Oh, that wasn't the one I was thinking of.
That wasn't the one I was thinking of either, but I liked. Did you see what he did though? Because it was true to form. The dude shot, even though he just fallen, and she's long since gone. Boy, there's one in this where you just turn around,
this one,
and she's right there.
Yeah, this is one where she's climbing down. It's the one climbing down. So this is the one I was thinking of. It's the one where you like turn around, you're climbing down, and then the camera pans off.
It's like, oh fuck.
Yeah, so that was scary. That was a jump scare right there.
Yep, they had some good ones. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he shows up.
Oh, yeah. Like, they did that a few times where you just
Yeah.
turn around and someone's there and you shoot yourself. And it's...
It's a horror game.
I don't know why I like that.
Yeah.
I have no mouth and must scream.
Oh, yeah. Yep. I have.
I would entirely call that a horror game.
Yeah, I don't think that put on my list because I didn't really play it. I watched a walkthrough, so.
Well, no, I just say that to illustrate that
Yeah.
I'm telling you, we know hundreds, especially by your definition of horror. We know hundreds of horror games, but I just can't think of them.
Because that's what they're really classified as, even if they're more of a shooter horror.
Yeah.
They're still a horror, you know?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So another one. Oh, I forgot another one. Dead Space. I actually started playing that one.
Okay, yeah.
And that is a horror shooter in space.
Go figure.
Yeah.
Pinhead
in space. God help me.
That's such a great concept.
Yeah.
It's too funny.
So and we didn't also mention any Resident Evils because I haven't really played them.
Oh, I played
considered
the
horror.
Shit at a Resident Evil 2 for some reason. I think I had it for the PS2.
Yeah.
And it was one of those you could play through as different characters as well.
Yeah.
So I played the shit right out of that one.
And the Silent Hills are considered horror as well.
Yep. The Resident Evils actually are almost everything that annoys the shit out of me in a game.
Yeah.
You're always running low.
Yeah.
Just whatever it is,
yeah.
you don't have much of it.
Yeah. That's screaming for an activated sequence.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yes.
Yep. And I don't believe I could cheat on the PS2. So
yeah.
I take that back. I could. I don't know if I did. I don't know if I could when I played Resident Evil 2. Later in its life, I could.
But if you look, I think most of the good Resident Evils so far have been remastered on PC now.
Oh, yeah.
So I bet you not all of them, but like Resident Evil, I think 2 and 4 might have been remastered on PC. I don't know. I'm not a Resident Evil guy.
I celebrate all zombies.
Yeah.
I enjoy that whole mythos because, again, I think people lose sight of it, but it's so tragic. It's such a tragic turn of events. People just think of the horror of it. No, that's not what's horrible about it. It's the fact that you know these people.
Yeah.
That's what's horrible about it.
Yeah.
And it's just such a great story. So I've honestly, every Resident Evil movie I've seen, and I've seen most of them, the games were better, and they just don't do... The story is always disjointed at best. I've just always walked away with that impression.
Yeah.
And the games, at least, I think they do a better job of telling the story.
Yeah. And that's why I'm glad we grew up in an era of video games, because I think it's a very good storytelling method that a lot of people unfortunately don't get to experience. I feel sad for my wife. Never gets to play these games.
Because you didn't play games?
Yeah, because I think that when you play a game like Last of Us, that you play it for 10, 12 hours, that's longer than watching a movie. You start really getting into these characters and the story, and it's a really good way to have a story unfold.
Oh, well, no, you have this emotional interest. As dumb as it sounds, you bond with these pixels, man.
Yeah.
You after, especially games you sink hours into, you become your character.
Yeah.
But the point, though, it's different strokes, man. She doesn't get the same pleasure you do out of it, and I could bring up a topic like it's called reading.
Yeah, but she doesn't read either, so.
I'm just saying. Different strokes for different folks. I'm reading a book right now that
I used to read.
I think is going to suck. I'll let you guys know. But I've gotten to the point where my reading, I don't know the name of the book or the author that I'm reading. I really don't. I think the name of the book I'm reading now is Original Sin. Literally don't know. It's a girl writer. And I'm not, I'll put it this way. I'm entirely not digging the book.
Yeah.
I'm probably like 30, 40% through it. And I just keep trucking along because she's working on something. Like, I don't find the story to be told in an effective manner. I don't like the style of writing, but she's onto something. And there's just enough of, there's enough of a thread there, enough of a story for me to keep investing. And I find it funny. So I'm literally reading a book right now that I'm like, But it's like that long shot horse.
Yeah.
If it comes in, it's going to pay huge.
It's going to pay huge. But like life, it probably won't.
It probably won't. It is the long shot, but, put my money in the long shots. So, all right. So what are you playing, buddy? Are we done with your list of horror games? I think we are, right?
I think that's it, yeah.
No, that was good.
And all of them I recommend. Just to be clear, I recommend all these games. I think they're all good games.
Yeah.
And again, PT for sale. No, I'm kidding.
That's awesome.
Actually, I'm not sure. I don't even think it's a big deal anymore. I think people have rebuilt that game in Unreal Engine, so you
I
can
was
kind
going
of
to
play
say, I
it.
doubt it's that big a deal.
I don't
Yeah.
think it's a big deal anymore.
It's, I'll put it this way: if you're seeking out PlayStation 4s to buy for a couple $100, you're wasting your money.
Yeah.
It's not that good.
Yeah. Besides that, 400 at least.
If it was that good, they'd make the full fucking game. It's not that good.
Yeah, I know. It's a shame. Well, I heard they're making up. They're supposed to be making up, so maybe there will be a Silent Hills game at some point. It's possible.
You know what I give Silent Hill props for? One thing and one thing only, because it was fucking genius.
Pyramid Head?
No, that's lame as shit. The fog.
Oh, but that was lame how that became.
The fog was they couldn't do the rendering.
Yeah, that was like it was broken. They're like, oh, well.
It's fucking
Yeah,
genius.
I know. And they said I saw they did a remaster, and the remaster didn't have any of the fog because they didn't need it. And everyone said, you ruined the game.
Yeah, I bet.
You ruined the game. Great, you made it better. No.
Yeah.
No.
And that's the only thing I'm actually giving them props for is not being scary at all. It's coming up with a creative solution to the problem that they had before.
Yeah, it's like, we can't render this quick enough. Fog.
Yep. So props up. You can't see shit.
Yeah,
Boom.
I know.
Fixed it.
Fixed. I know. That was genius.
That's awesome.
So yeah, so that's what. So playing games, yeah, I haven't really. Have I played any games this week? Trying to think. No, not really. I haven't really played any games. I do plan on playing a couple. Like I said, I think I'm planning on playing Metro and Evil Within.
Well,
Right now I got stuff to do with the house, and I just haven't had a chance.
I told you before the show because I was so proud of myself. But as I stated on the last show, I platinumed my first PS4 game.
Yes.
So now, yes, I'm officially in the Hall of Greatness. Ooh, yes.
You get that little symbol next to the.
And that was Need for Speed Heat, which got me thinking, boy, why didn't I platinum those other ones?
Yeah.
And I know why.
Why?
And I'd like to bitch because that's what I do.
Oh.
So for getting the platinum, you have to do a shit ton of things. As it turns out, when I play those games, I do a shit ton of things. I do pretty much everything I can think to do. But then I get towards the end, and I realize that I basically have two things left to do. Because the last trophy is always a misnomer, because the last trophy is always get all the other trophies. So I've got, three things technically, but one of them's that get everything else. So the two I have left are you need to get your crew to a certain level, which basically means I need to play online with other people and get their dumbasses to my level. I think the way it's supposed to work is it's a community thing. Like you get auto-assigned this crew. I didn't bother to make or find my own. And you have to contribute experience, and we all contribute, and it gets us to our goal faster. Yeah, I'm pretty certain I'm my crew. Even though there's like 30 of us, I'm pretty certain I'm it. But that brings me to the other thing I had to do, which was get into 25 races with other people. And this brings me to the fundamental problem, because when I went and I looked at the other Need for Speed games, because I am a big fan of Need for Speed, and ironically, the only one I've not played the shit right out of is the one that's free this month.
Yeah.
All the others, rivals, have played the shit right out of. The first Need for Speed on PS4, just called Need for Speed, phenomenal too, played the shit right out of. In the high 80s, percent complete for all of them. So it begged the question, why didn't I platinum these? And I looked, and once again, every requirement is a multiplayer requirement of some kind. And it dawned on me that I've seen this. I see it in every game. Diablo does it. You get bonuses for playing with people. Okay, that's great. But here's my rub.
Yeah.
We're forgetting our target audience. We are a market of nerds. We are not known for our social graces. We are not known for seeking the company of others. We've been, as I tell people at work, I've been social distancing since before it was cool, since 1975.
Yes. Master level.
The concept, and I wish every game company would listen to this and hear it loud and clear. The concept of you trying to force us nerds to be social makes me just scream, go fuck yourself. It's none of your business. You forget who's buying your product. If I want to race with a friend or I want to play any game with a friend, I love doing that with you, Kevin. I think it's great.
Yep.
But don't force me to do it. Don't force a group that is largely antisocial to now become social creatures. Now, granted, you could just say, why do you care about those dumbass awards? I can't explain it. But yeah, anybody listening that got that platinum in I don't care what,
Yep.
you feel like you accomplished something.
Well, to leapfrog on that, the only games I have platinum didn't have multiplayer components to the platinum.
Okay.
So
Would you agree with my little diatribe there?
Yeah, actually,
because it pisses me off.
Yeah, because I'm like, no, I don't have any friends online, and I don't want to, but I want to platinum and I guess I'm not platinum this game.
Yeah.
So yeah, like Bloodborne, there's no online features at all in the game, so that was easy to platinum.
Nice.
So any game that doesn't have any online features are generally easy to platinum. By comparison, it's always the online stuff that suck.
Oh, I'm gonna be honest. The only thing I struggled to achieve in Need for Speed Heat was getting those 25 fucking races with other people.
Yeah.
Because it was easier for me to get all of the experience for my crew. Because I could have gone and talked to people and found a better crew. Yeah. It was easier for me to just get all the experience myself. Because I could do that by myself. The only thing I couldn't do was those fucking races. So. Yeah. I mean, I was letting people win. I just didn't care. I'm just like, race me. I just need 25 of these goddamn things.
Jeez.
But it pisses me off, though, because I see it all the time.
I don't agree with that either.
And it's just like, what the fuck, people? You forget where you come from, and you forget who your audience is.
I think should be a second tier. Like, I've seen the game, like games with DLCs. There's actually a second tier of that you can platinum.
Yeah.
So you should be able to platinum all the single-player stuff and ignore the multiplayer stuff. That should be a separate level.
You know, it's funny you say that. I've never seen that before. I just started looking this up, but the first Need for Speed game actually has 3 different levels of platinum.
Oh.
So you can get 3 platinum trophies from that one game.
Right.
And I was like, that's pretty groovy.
Yeah, one should be multiplayer.
One is, actually.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I take that back. No, I think you still need to do... Yeah. I think there's multiplayer component to all of them.
That's stupid.
That's bullshit.
I hate it. Yeah.
And you know what it is? The same people that wrote this fucking game had no friends. I know it. So what are you doing?
You have to have friends. I'm forcing you now.
It drives me nuts. It just drives me crazy. So anyway, that's literally it. I haven't really played anything, but would you be into that Need for Speed Payback? Is the one that came out? Is that your jam?
You know, I like race car games. I played. You know, Outrun was my bag back in the day.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
And I think mostly haven't really changed since then.
Well, I'm gonna end up playing it anyway because I'm like that, and I love those Need for Speed games. But I'll at least try to get into that so I can. It definitely helps to play those games with somebody. Not that I actually have, but theoretically, I know how it would help.
Yeah.
But typically, it might help too if I don't know this for sure, but it might be better if one of us was a badass, kind of like power level kind of thing. Oh. If you're thinking it that way, I don't know that's the case.
Like a Diablo power level.
Yeah,
gotcha.
But I mean, I'll look into it a little bit.
There is a game I do want to play. Now that I think about it, and it's multiplayer. Is an option. And you can play on PC. It's called Rogue Squadron, and basically you
Star Wars.
Yeah, and it's a flight simulator. That game just came out. EA $40 new, and you can play normal or VR.
That's interesting.
And you can be your childhood dream. Hop in an X-wing or a TIE fighter.
Okay, I was going to wonder if it was. I mean, do you remember X-wing versus TIE fighter back in the day? They were great games.
Yeah, this is basically it. But now modern, and there's different multiple missions. There's a single player story.
Nice.
And we can play in the same team and destroy the evil rebels.
Is it all space based, or can I take on that?
All space based.
Okay.
Yeah, but those rebels, man, you gotta get rid of them because we're just trying to restore order to the galaxy.
They're fucking trouble.
Yeah, they're just trouble. They're just blowing us up for no reason. So we're gonna be TIE fighters and we're gonna destroy those rebels.
I love it.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that. Yeah.
But it looked awesome. I saw it, but the game actually supports all flight sticks and stuff like that, so you can basically do the whole thing, throttle and flight stick, and blast away the big giant starships and everything.
I've looked into steering wheel and gas pedal and all that for the PS4. That shit's expensive. It's a couple $100.
It is expensive, but
I want to say like between 2 and 3 was the cheap end.
Yeah, but I've used steering wheels in my life, and they're cool.
Oh, they're fucking great, dude.
Yeah, they're cool.
Dude, as a kid, I had it was Coleco, and I had the game Turbo, which, if memory serves, had 3 different screens. That's right, 3 different backgrounds. And I got the gas pedal, literally just the gas pedal, because there was you held it down. That was it. You put your foot on it. There's literally no point you let off the gas.
Yeah, if I had a brake I would never use it.
Yeah, you just push your foot down, and I had the steering wheel, and I could not tell you how many miles I rode.
Yeah.
I drove across the country and back multiple times. I mean, I played the shit out of that game as a kid.
That'd be cool.
And loved it. Absolutely loved it. And I'm telling you, man, all you're effectively doing then is moving the car like that far on the screen, left and right. There was no like advanced handling or anything. Love the shit out of that. So I've thought about it.
You need the best grip.
That's why I know what the price is, because I was looking at that. I don't know how much I'd use it, but it seems like a neat concept.
Yeah.
I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze on that one though. Too rich for my blood.
No, but I would probably use a flight stick because I've used to really have a love for flight simulators, and I used to have flight sticks a long time ago. But
So a yoke?
yeah, and they call them, I forget what they call them now. This is kind of like, it starts with H, but yeah, a special kind of like joystick that, they have the whole throttle and joystick and everything, so it'd be kind of cool.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I'd ever use that. I'll be honest. I don't know a single game where, I don't play them.
Yeah, I used to play them all the time.
Yeah, I couldn't even tell you. I did read the article of the latest flight simulator. Did you see that about the?
I didn't see the article.
Pit in Brazil.
No.
For some reason, some dude found this. There's like a gate to hell in Brazil that just completely tweaks out the game. So like if you and you see it, it's just this hole in the ground that it's big, and he flies into it, and the minute he does, the game just completely shits itself.
Didn't render that.
The sky becomes the ground, and there's ground on the ground, and then it starts doing weird audio bugs.
Oh, that's
and
worth
just,
trying.
The game just basically throws up on itself.
Yes, that game actually seems interesting to me because I'm like, they need some work in some places, but some places are exact replicas of the town and cities you're flying over and just fly around and do flybys. It's kind of neat.
Any desire to actually get a pilot's license of any kind?
I've always wanted to as a child because I'm from a town that where they had a Goodyear Aerospace Center and they had real flight simulators that you had to climb into.
Yeah.
And I was the best one of that day of all the kids that went in there on a dogfight. And I've always wanted to fly, so I've used many like flight simulators since then that, it's more than just like hit go and fly.
Yeah.
Complex, make sure your flaps and everything is correct. And I just love that stuff.
I mean, you could definitely get it. It just requires money.
When I'd be like a retirement thing and I'd pull a Harrison Ford, but without crashing and stuff, hopefully.
I was going to say, I don't think you want to pull a Harrison Ford.
No.
Not to mention, people will be, let me tell you, you crash into my backyard, I'm going to be fucking pissed.
Yeah. Well, I only plan on being a daytime flyer. I don't want to do it. That's how all the famous people died. They're all flying at night when they weren't supposed to.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So John Denver, JFK Jr., they're all flying at night.
Well, John Denver is flying like some crazy experimental plane.
That's true.
So, I mean, that not for nothing, you had that shit coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's once again, if you don't believe in gravity, fear not, it believes in you.
Yeah. I guess he just wanted to get Rocky Mountain High.
There you go. I was wondering. I knew it was coming. Just hope you got it out of your system.
Yes.
Oh, Lordy. Anyway.
The joke of the evening.
Well, let's move right along, my friend.
Oh,
Actually,
yes.
we're already we're into this a little bit. Am I reading this right?
You are reading it right.
Is it in fact an hour and a half already?
It is 1 hour and 31 minutes.
Okay, just making sure. Last time I looked and it was an hour and a half, folks. We were like at 30 minutes. I don't know what the hell happened.
Yeah, no, I think it was 103 and you thought it was like 130.
The numbers are very hard. Math is difficult.
I'm going to hook up a mirror system so you can read that from your side.
I had to carry the one.
Yes.
Figure that one out. But have you listened to anything lately, buddy?
Yes. I've listened
told me
to
too, a little bit,
the fourth most popular band in New Zealand. The third most popular band in New Zealand is a tribute to this band. They're called Flight of the Conchords.
Oh, okay. They're fantastic.
Yes. So if you don't know Flight of the Conchords, Google and check everything they do. Everything they do.
I fully concur with that, actually. You have to understand that, like, when Mickles and I first came across their show on HBO, we're like, what in the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And, of course, like, it's the middle of the episode, and we're like, what the fuck are we watching?
Yeah, what are you watching?
You have to understand they're comedic. They're going to make you laugh. And they're just so freaking talented. They really are.
It's fun. I just happened to see an episode the other day that got me into the music again because I've been in the music since you introduced them to me.
Oh, did I introduce them
to
you?
You introduced them to
me. Oh,
me.
that makes me happy. The rhinoceros. I guarantee. Because
that's the one you introduced me to.
It's the look on his face.
Yes.
I'm the rhinoceros. My lyrics, they're bottomless. It just it fucking killed me. He nailed that so good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so good.
Yeah. I just watched. So the one I was watching the other day was just they're sitting in the bedroom, and one was depressed, and the other one just said, "Oh, I'm gonna play a song for you I wrote," and he goes, you kind of got it going on.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, this is hilarious. And I watch you while you're, I dress up in women's clothing, watch you while you're sleeping. He just goes on. He goes, that was all nice and all, except for the part where you said you wore women's clothing and you watched me while I was asleep. And he goes, yeah, whatever. And he just ignored it. And I'm like,
Just moving on.
just moving on. I'm like, it's funny stuff. I really, really enjoy it. And that's just random. And I do have a bunch of like movies and videos and stages, like concerts they've done.
Oh yeah,
They're hilarious.
They're a
in
riot.
concert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the show is, once you know what you're getting into, it's pure genius
Yeah.
level stuff.
Yeah.
It's really good.
And Wednesdays is business time.
And yeah, exactly. Murray got him a gig at a library once. It's fantastic.
That's awesome.
Because they're playing and everybody's yelling. Shh, shh, it's a library.
It's a library. Yeah, so I do recommend that. So the actual legitimate music thing I was listening to, and they're actually legitimate because they're geniuses. But
I'm telling you, they're super talented. They really are.
one actually got an Oscar for some movie too, so it's kind of funny.
Okay.
So, I was listening to Bob Dylan the other day, and
That's good for
it was a rabbit's hole because the song was along the Watchtower.
Okay.
And the rabbit's hole is how the song has changed over the years for Bob Dylan, because when he wrote it, and then obviously Jimi Hendrix most famously covered it.
Thing, yeah.
When Jimi Hendrix died, Bob Dylan doesn't play along the Watchtower in concert the way he used to. It is Jimi Hendrix's version.
I gotta actually say, and this is sacrilege,
Yeah.
Dave Matthews does a pretty fucking good job. He really does.
I like a Dave Matthews. So Bob Dylan doesn't do Bob Dylan's Along the Watchtower anymore. He stopped.
I get it though.
Yeah. So it's the cover of a cover.
Yeah, it's weird, but I get it. It's
Yeah.
because of the way the brain works. You know, I'd read Dune. I have no idea what Paul Atreides looked like.
Yes.
But the fucking minute I saw the movie, he looked like Kyle
You
MacLachlan.
look exactly like Kyle in your brain.
And has ever since.
It backfilled. And it's still going to be Kyle MacLachlan in the new movie. I don't care.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I kind of get that. I think it's kind of the same concept at work.
Yeah. Well, he said that he made it his own. I was looking at why he did it. And he goes, Jimi Hendrix made the song his own, and this is kind of a tribute to him.
Nice.
So I watched a bunch of videos since then where I'm like, oh, yeah, that's Jimi Hendrix version of it, but that's Bob Dylan singing.
So this is not the greatest song ever played? This is just a tribute.
It's just a tribute, yeah. Tenacious D. The weird part is, though, unfortunately, and you might not like this, I don't think Bob Dylan does a great job with that song in the Jimi Hendrix fashion. Musically, it sounds like Jimi Hendrix, but Bob Dylan can't sing his way out of a wet paper bag.
I don't think Dylan should have ever picked up an electric guitar one.
Yeah.
And and we talked about this pre-show. I first of all, I was going to talk about Dylan. I find it weird anyway. I was going to talk about Dylan anyway.
Yeah.
Dylan is one of those, like Bob Dylan. Yes, you should listen to Dylan.
Yes.
Nobody listens to enough Dylan. I definitely don't. Dylan can't sing worth a shit.
Yes.
Part of what makes him so great is he's proven that you can be a successful singer without having the actual ability to sing. However, I'm not kidding when I say this. I don't know of a better songwriter. I do not know of a better lyricist. I'm hard pressed. I cannot think of a single example.
Was his rhymes bottomless?
His lyrics really were bottomless. But I'm not kidding. I cannot think of somebody who's more talented as a writer. Yeah. Period. I mean, I just can't. He's that good. So what did you end up listening to? Do you have any? Well, what do you recommend if you somehow haven't heard Bob Dylan? Robert Zimmerman. Go get his stuff. I mean, he's fucking amazing.
Let's see. American Pie. Bye American Pie.
That's
I'm just kidding.
Awesome.
I'm just kidding.
That's
That's
awesome.
a joke, McLean. I know.
He does this just to make me angry. It's great. That is a good one, though.
I was trying to think, what's that song he doesn't sing?
Yeah,
That people may assume he sings it.
Well, I wrote down a bunch if you want help, but I mean, I thought I'd ask. But that's pretty good.
For you.
I was just in California Dreaming.
Yeah, Don McLean.
I really loved it.
Yes, I really like Don McLean. That's his name. Anyways, so who actually sang that song?
Yeah,
The day the
Don
music
McLean,
died.
you're good. Yeah,
Yeah. So, was he a one-hit wonder?
absolutely.
Yeah, I figured.
Some people would argue with me, and they're wrong.
Yeah, and they're wrong. Jesus. Yeah, I don't know any other songs he's
Yeah,
ever.
the dude knows Vanna White. He bought an S. And that's how he made his greatest hits album.
Well, that's what I always said. I really like Dream Theater. They know they're not hugely popular, and they only had one song, and MTV's Headbanger Ball. So their greatest hit albums goes, Dream Theater's greatest hit and 10 other pretty good songs.
That's awesome. Yep.
I'm like, they know.
Yep.
They know. They had one big hit back in the 80s.
And that was it. Back in the 80s, too, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Because it wasn't that when Headbangers Ball was around, or was that in the 90s? Maybe I don't know my MTV.
I'm saying I think it went into the 90s. I'm not 100%. I don't know when I stopped watching Headbangers Ball, but it's entirely a thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
It's entirely a thing. It was like, stay awake long enough and you'll get a good hour or two of MTV.
Yeah. Jesus. I don't know. I guess Bob Dylan, I don't know the names of the song that well, but How Does It Feel? I don't know. That's the name of the song.
Is that might be the name of it?
Yeah, How Does It Feel?
Or no, it's like a Rolling Stone. I don't know. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I had to look these up.
Whatever that
actually.
song is. How does it feel? You know?
Oh, no, it's great. I'm telling you, man, I love Dylan. His lyrics are just so good.
Well, the first time I heard that song was watching
Forrest Gump.
No.
Okay.
There was a VH1. They used to play music too. VH1
true, though.
miniseries called like the 70s.
Okay.
And they put that song on a scene where, people are, leaving home, people going off to war, Vietnam and all that stuff. And they were just playing that song over it.
Yeah.
And it had just the right, it was a perfect song for that spot.
Oh, yeah.
It's like all this stuff, people were sad and, life was moving on and bad things were happening. And then that song was playing, everybody leaving home. I don't know. I thought it was really poignant.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I actually have to admit I love music from that era because it was so... Everybody's so pissed and it sucked.
Yeah.
And it's just so fucking terrifying.
I'm no fortunate one.
There you go.
As a CCR reference.
Oh, boy, the way that's been used lately, too. But we're not going to go there just yet.
Yeah.
Mention some Dylan again. Yes, go listen to some Dylan.
Yes.
That's my advice. If you want to go greatest hits, okay, go for it. But I'll give you some. I think these are mostly still greatest hits, but you just can't go wrong. So I will mention Subterranean Homesick Blues because people love it. Everyone knows it, even though no one knows the name. It's the Johnny's in the basement mixing up the medicine on the pavement, things about the government. And he spitfires the lyrics, and they're fast. It does actually make some kind of sense, and the pump definitely does not work because the Vandals stole the handles. But beyond that, moving on, Spanish Boots and Spanish Leather. I don't even know if that's a hit. I fucking love that song, though. And it's just kind of one of those songs where Bob rambles and rambles and rambles, kind of like this show. Yeah. And it's just so good, though. Blowing in the Wind, that's
yeah. I know that song.
Classic. Girl from the North Country, I fucking love. And I don't know if he did this originally or not, but there's definitely a version with Johnny Cash, and it is so good. So Girl from the North Country, worth checking out. Don't Think Twice is another one I just wrote down because I love it. And but I'm telling you, man, I could go on and on. Oh, and I know, it's funny. I played it for you because I was so insistent you heard it, and I didn't even write it down. But Shelter from the Storm. I love Shelter from the Storm.
And I have heard that one.
It's so good. So, but I mean, I'm not kidding. And you saw me talking about it, looking at my collection. I have a lot of Bob, and I just recommend it. I have a lot of his albums, and there's just good song after good song after good song. So listen to Bob Dylan. Anything else, buddy? You hear anything else recently? Because I do have a few more to talk about. All weird stuff this week, though.
I don't know. I'm trying to think. I'll think. You keep going.
I'll think.
Go.
I'm just going out there with some weird shit this week for no particular reason. Well, with that, actually, this isn't weird at all, but, I had a rap section for a little while, and I never mentioned the ladies love Cool James, and I feel remiss for doing so.
LL Cool J?
LL Cool J. I definitely, LL Cool J was one of the first albums I actually bought on a cassette. One of. I would say it was the first 10 albums I ever bought was a LL Cool J. Bad. I bought Radio shortly after that, even though that came out before. But I was a fan of LL Cool J. I have not listened to him quite some years, quite frankly. However, I have heard the song Bad not terribly long ago because I play it periodically. I still love it. I mean, if the video doesn't hold up because he's such a baby face at that point, but the song's good, and forget Oreos, eat Cool J cookies because he's bad, and I freaking love it. So definitely, if you're looking for some old school rap, LL, and I definitely gravitate towards a baby-faced LL. The younger stuff I'm more familiar with, so I like it more. But I mean, you got to give him props. The dude's got talent. There's no question. He used to rock in his basement. Now he's #1. That's more lyrics from that. But
Boy,
it's good stuff.
now he's on TV.
But yeah, dude's done all right for himself. Just running the whole gamut here today. So if you're pissed off, I don't actually have a band to recommend. But I decided I was looking at just some old mixed albums I made. And there were 2 songs that jumped out at me. And they're both kind of funny in their own unique way. And they both fall into the pissed off metal category in a weird sort of way. The first one is a band called King Missile. And it's a song called Detachable Penis. So it's definitely on the comedic side.
Yeah.
But it's got a riff that is so fucking good.
That's awesome.
That, we'll play it afterwards. It's just got this great power riff to it. And it's catchy. I'm telling you, it is catchy. You're gonna like it. I guarantee it. You're gonna hear that riff and you're gonna be like, dude, that's cool. I have no idea why he's talking about his detachable penis, but damn, that's cool.
I think I've heard that song before, but also coincidentally, the Lamb that lies down on Broadway by Genesis is also about a penis that's separated from the body.
Apparently, that's a thing, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, go figure.
Yeah, guys have weird dreams. Yeah.
The actually detachable penis has a line. Although sometimes it's a pain in the ass. I like having a detachable penis.
That's pretty good and wrong.
It's wrong and it's hysterical.
Yeah.
But the other one is about just right on the nose as well. It's a band called Typo Negative, who, first of all, they're this like Icelandic, Norway, some Scandinavian people where they're very pale, but they're like goth, and they're like if Danzig were tall.
Oh.
So like Danzig is like a little evil demon. These are like full-size demon men.
So they're singing about their grandmothers.
And they just exactly. They're that's pretty good. That's not bad actually. I'm impressed with that. Grandma,
yeah, sorry.
tell your children not to walk my way.
Sorry, that was a bad joke by me. I'm sorry.
No, I kind of dug that one actually. I'll be honest. But they're like true badasses.
Yeah.
They're scary and they may be in league with Satan. But they have a song that again on the nose, and it's simply called "I Know You're Fucking Someone Else."
Oh, yeah, that's yeah.
And that's most of the lyrics of it.
Oh.
And it works.
Yeah. I'm convinced.
Just have to say, it works.
Yeah.
And, and that's actually the bridge. I'm not kidding. So,
Wow.
I'm not kidding, though. These are songs I recommend.
Okay.
That's if you're pissed.
With headphones. We recommend these with headphones.
Well, I don't know. Where are you going to be? On the bus with Spock? I mean, where are you going to play this shit?
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, I'd entirely play Typo Negative blaring from my car.
You ever seen Star Trek 4?
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Do you remember the music the guy was playing that
It's by
Spock knocked him out?
Twisted Sister, if I'm not mistaken.
No, it was some other punk band. But the guy who knocked out was the one singing the song.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was the same guy.
Oh, that's interesting. We'll have to look that up. I have no idea who that was.
Yeah, check it. Yeah, that I know. I know it wasn't Twisted Sister. I know the guy that was singing was the person on the boombox.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, it wasn't D. Snyder.
No, it wasn't D. Snyder. But it kind of had that kind of vibe.
Well, you know why I know that? Because the Spock thing would not have worked on D. Snyder.
Why?
D. Snyder would have punched Spock, and that would have been that.
Yeah, it's true. D. Snyder's a badass.
D. Snyder would have kicked Spock's ass.
Actually, I have a lot of respect for D. Snyder. I really do.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Mad props.
Yeah, he started a petition to get AC/DC to play the next Super Bowl. And I highly agree with that move because the Super Bowl needs to be a little more exciting than lately.
I got to pause. If you were looking around the world right now and you came to the conclusion that the problem is Super Bowl isn't being played by
D. Snyder,
AC/DC,
come on.
I mean, what the fuck?
Look, D. Snyder's doing the little things, okay?
So dark because your head's too far up your ass.
Yeah. He's actually almost got enough signatures for it to happen.
Wow. Really?
AC/DC.
D. Dude, there's got to be a better way to spend your time. There's got to be.
Look, this was important to him, and I respect D.
I got nothing. If you're looking
He's not gonna
around
take it.
and you're like, that's the problem, he's not. You know, that's still, for the record, those two, we're not going to take it, and I Want to Rock, hold up, and they're just as badass now as they were in the 80s.
Yeah.
And, Mickles, I keep Mickles, my wife, laughing because I just, as she puts it, you just say things that, like, normal people won't say ever. You say things that are unexpected.
Yeah.
And I do, you know. And so one day on vacation, and do you know the "I Want to Rock" video? Because it's great. It's basically kids getting yelled at school, a little punk rocker kid.
Yeah.
And what do you want to do with your life?
Yeah.
And then it comes out, I want to rock.
That's a great video.
So, 30 years later, we're on vacation, and we wake up one morning, and Mikkel says, what do you want to do today? Of course, the answer is,
I want to rock.
I want to rock. I did a little headbang. A bald guy doing a headbang. And it was good. She did not see that one coming.
Yeah. I'm sure she agreed. Yeah, I guess we're gonna rock now.
I guess we're gonna rock.
Yeah.
So I guess we rocked that day, but yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to rock.
I want to rock.
So, and I got to do these back to back because it tickles my funny bone to go from Typo Negative, I Know You're Fucking Someone Else, to Enya.
Aww.
So we're going to Enya.
Jeez.
I just want to show you
Yeah.
that my musical tastes are fast, buddy. I'm all over the place.
Wow.
And the worst part is I can entirely go from one to the other. But Enya, I don't know many of her songs. Like, I know a lot of her songs. I don't know the names pretty much any of her songs. I know the Crystal Light commercial is Orinoco Flow.
That's going to say a lot of commercials.
Yeah, it's Orinoco Flow is the Crystal Light. I got that. But Enya, it's funny. You've been watching South Park. I think they described Enya perfectly. It's cheesy and lame, and yet eerily soothing. Enya is truly amazing.
Yeah.
I seriously, Columbia House, thank you. We all somehow both lost money on you and robbed you blind.
Yeah.
And I
don't
still
feel good about it.
Don't understand how it worked. Yeah.
I
But
think it's cost a penny I mailed in. I forget.
it just doesn't make sense. It's like we were all victims of a pyramid scheme, and yet we felt like we were the winners. But anyway, I bought an album because I bought my first Enya album, not having any idea who Enya was or how she sounded, anything, because she named her album in memory of trees. And I said, okay, I'm down. You piqued my interest.
Yeah.
And I honestly think I have every Enya album. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
She is something unto herself. Gaelic
Was there more
roots,
bark than bite in that
That's
album?
fantastic. Wow, you're just reaching so hard.
Because trees.
But yeah, she's worth a listen to. It is cheesy and lame, and it's amazing. It is truly spiritual. I don't want to say it's good feeling music, but personally, I find Enya to be fall music. So this is the perfect time for Enya.
Yeah.
And Paint the Night with Stars is her greatest hits album kind of thing, and that's pretty groovy. I would say give that a listen to, but a lot of good stuff. And I honestly can't think of songs. I mean, I think Anywhere Is the name of one of their songs that I dig. But I mean, I'm telling you, it's not. The reason I don't know her song titles is because you don't listen to an Enya song.
Yeah.
You throw in an Enya album. It's that kind of thing,
Yeah.
But definitely, if you are tired of your Typo Negative and you need to mellow out, Enya's going to do the trick.
Yeah.
That's for sure. It's going to mellow you right down.
Yeah.
It's about as mellow as you get while remaining conscious.
Yeah. So if you're tired of, you wanting to kill yourself, you want others to kill themselves, then you put in Enya.
Yeah, you could entirely. Yep. So two other mentions here. One is I don't even know what you categorize this band as, but it really, if we ever got like celebrity music sponsors, this could almost be our theme song. But it's a band called Lemonheads, and the song specifically I'm thinking of is The Outdoor Type. Are you familiar with it?
I may not.
It's pretty much your theme song with lines like, well, basically the concept is I lied about being the outdoor type.
Oh. Yeah.
So lines like God bless the great indoors and the one line that always cracked me up, it's I can't go away with you on a rock climbing weekend because what if something's on TV and it's never shown again?
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's not the outdoor type, and neither are we. So it's a good song. They had other hits though. They I couldn't remember them. I remember I like the Lemonheads. Into Your Arms was a good song. I dug that well enough. I know they did the Mrs. Robinson cover. Not a fan. Not really all that big a fan of the original either. But if I'm going to pick one, I'm picking the original. I also heard they did a cover of Different Drum, which I give them props for doing a cover of that. It's a Stone Pony song I love. Linda Ronstadt was a singer. Highly recommend it. And per my previous episodes, that is as big a fuck you song as ever there was, and I love that. But I do not like the Lemonheads cover for what it's worth. But like I said, give them props for even doing it because that is a great song. And then One Hit Wonder. I wanted to mention one song. I don't know a single song by this, other than this song. I don't know anything else by this band. I don't think I've ever heard anything else by this band. But it's a band called Local H. And the song is Bound for the Floor. And it's funny because that means nothing to you, but I almost guarantee if I play that for you, you're going to know it. I'll give you a hint. The majority of the song is You Just Don't Get It, Keep It Copacetic. And how many songs use the word copacetic?
Yeah, not many.
But it's a good song.
What rhymes with copacetic?
Quite a few things. But that's neither here nor there. We were playing that game earlier, the what rhymes with China, but we'll leave that to the audience to figure out.
Yeah.
Anywho, so that's my one-hit wonder. So Local H, Bound for the Floor. I don't even know what you categorize that as either, but it's a song. So
Alternative listening.
It is alternative rock, I guess. I don't know, but I'm just hitting you guys with random stuff that I like in the hopes that maybe you guys find something you like, hear something you haven't before, and
I do
enjoy it.
I do remember what I listened to else.
Oh, what else
this week?
That was almost English.
Yes, I was. G2 is getting in my head. I was watching a documentary on the making of the Dark Side of the Moon.
Okay.
And they're remastering it in a super audio version with original master tapes, and you can hear things you can't hear in the album that you probably heard growing up, and it adds a new dimension to it. So I think I want to look that up and see if I can find a copy of the new remaster to see what it sounds like, because it sounds pretty badass.
That's interesting.
But I am a big fan of the Dark Side of the Moon.
It's a good album.
Yeah, it was a great album, and I realized. So they actually, the documentary I watched, they went through every single song in the album and just showed the whole creation of it and why they made the decisions they did, and yeah, it was I don't know, I like the songs and it was great, and a lot of the songs hold up really well even now. Us and Them, and and Money, and
you know what ruined me, and we both saw it, and for the record, they were extremely talented, and I give these guys props, but there were two Hasidic Jews playing Wish You Were Here.
Yeah.
And they actually were really talented. Musically, they're really spot on, but their voice, they couldn't help themselves. They're New York City Hasidic Jews. And all I ever heard is like, what are you, Meshuggah? You trade, a walk-on part in the war for a lead role in a cage. What are you, stupid?
Yeah, I know, that's awesome.
It's just they weren't that bad, but I mean, the minute I heard a hint of that, that's all I heard. And it's just, now I can't help but think of them whenever I think of Pink Floyd, and it just cracks me up, that whole concept.
Sad. I do like Pink Floyd. I find their music, I don't know, Gilmour, the guitarist, he is the most interesting guitarist I've ever heard, because most of the time, like Van Halen, God rest his soul, was all about how fast can I play this thing, and very talented. Well, Gilmour is very talented, but he is very exact and precise playing, and it has a sound, and I like the sound, but it's like the opposite of Van Halen, but still good.
Yeah, I get it. Makes sense. Yeah.
So yeah, I've always really enjoyed listening, even the early stuff of Pink Floyd before Dark Side of the Moon. The good stuff there too.
Yeah, I like Pink Floyd. I just again, I went down that rabbit hole with The Wall, and I just kind of, and I know that's its own. Yeah. That's almost its own thing.
Yeah.
But I went down that rabbit hole, and it's fucking dark there. And when I finally crawled my way out of that, I was like, I'm not going back.
Yeah.
And so, things like Dark Side weren't anywhere near as grim. But it's like, yeah, you're too close. I've associated you, so I like Pink Floyd. I just don't listen to them very often.
Yeah, but they have great lyrics,
Oh, absolutely.
Like Vera.
Yeah. No, I mean, that whole album is absolute masterpiece. But again, Dark Side is nothing but hit after hit after hit. They're well-written songs. But yeah, hitting too close, It's just like, damn, I barely made it out the first time. I'm afraid to go back, you know?
Yeah, I go all the time, man.
It's dark. Yeah, it's a bummer. That's why you're bummed out, man.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, I find myself listening to Pink Floyd every now and again.
It's funny. That's the age-old question. Are you listening to sad music or dark music because you're, in my case, because I listen to depressing music pretty much constantly.
Yeah.
But am I depressed because I'm listening to depressing music, or am I listening to depressing music because I'm depressed? It's the age-old question. The gist of it is, it doesn't fucking matter. And just again, we choose to be happy, we choose to be sad. It's not always that simple. We do have external factors competing, but honestly, a big part of it is just where your head's at, what you decide.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, anyway, I know we've gotten some feedback from some folks, and I don't know if it's a new sorting method or whatnot, but I haven't been seeing the emails. But you said we've gotten some more feedback on the show in general, and I just want to give a shout out to basically everybody that's providing feedback in any way, shape, or form. Definitely appreciate that, and keep that coming. And give any shout outs you want to give?
Yeah, I'm going to give a shout out, and you're not going to expect a shout out.
That's fantastic.
But I'm going to give a shout out to my mom. Normally, I don't bring up my mom on shows, but she calls me now all the time to tell me what she thought about the show.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And she said now she starts every Saturday, because that's about when I get the video up online, is when she watches the video. That's the first thing she does, grabs a cup of coffee, and she watches our show on Saturdays.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you for listening. And actually, you know what? You inspired me, because I am the shittiest uncle, brother, friend, you name it. I'm just a bad human being. My nephew actually texted me, and he said, and apparently he's been listening. So, and he basically said, "Hey, do I need to write in, or can I just text you?"
You have to write in.
And I said, you know what? Family privileges, world just wouldn't be what it is without nepotism. So you just IM, or you just text me, whatever you want, buddy.
Yep.
I'm here for you. And you can skip the queue.
Yes, instant messages, whatever. Yeah, whatever it needs.
Yep, they'll line out the door. Don't worry, buddy. We got a spot for you. You're coming right in.
Yeah.
But that's great. Well, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I didn't expect that, but I just spoke with her the other day, and I'm like, she had a lot to say. She has some recommendations of some shows and movies. I forgot to look up what they are before the show today, but I'll take a look at them, Mom. I promise.
Okay, cool. No, that's awesome. Oh, yeah. Well, fear not, there's going to be a lot more shows, so we'll get to everything sooner or later.
So I'll try to have this one up by Saturday, this episode as well.
That's awesome. Well, first we're going to have to finish it, which I'm starting to have my doubts about.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, we just crossed the 2-hour mark, so I'm going to say, unless you got anything else, buddy.
I got one thing.
Oh boy.
Logos.
That's fantastic. Well, let's. It didn't go so well last time. So, are you ready? I don't know. Are you ready for this?
Are you ready?
I don't want to pressure you.
Yeah, I know. So
okay, then I'd say we do it, buddy. Let's roll that beautiful bean footage.
Okay, here we go.
And well, this is Sean.
This is Kevin. This is one other thing.
There's the one other thing.
Good night.
We still fucked it up.
Yeah,
I was like, something's missing here. Yeah, I can't. I'm like, something's missing because you say good night.
Yeah. God help us. We'll get it right.